What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am so excited you are here. We're gonna learn together. This is the Tarver Academy Summer Professional Development. We're gonna learn. Learning's happening. It's going down today. We're about to get started. My name is Tyler. I run Tarver Academy. It's an online resource for teachers and students and educators, and it's a great community where people just get involved and learn and get better. And I throw resources to you guys, throw ideas around. It's just a lot of fun. Just a whole lot of fun, Tarver Academy. So if you need anything, I'm here. TarverAcademy.com has a ton of resources and things that you can go to check out. A little bit about me, just so you know, you don't think I'm just like, hey, here's a random YouTuber talking about, videos or whatever. My name's Tyler. I started out teaching high school math, and then I moved into a tech director / facilitator role. Then I was a principal of a school 6th through 12th grade. 6th through 12th grade. Fun ages. That's good stuff, okay? Good stuff. Never any drama, 6th through 12th grade. No drama. And our school had waivers from the state, so we did a lot of online, we did a lot of blended, we did a lot of in-person learning, all the above. So we get to learn a lot, make some mistakes, do some stuff right, and try to learn from everything we did. Then after that, I went to central office, and I was director of curriculum instruction, and now I'm the dean of NLC College. And I'm so excited to be here, learning and growing with you guys. I'm also giving a little bit of time for people to jump in, get started, and we're about to go through some of the housekeeping stuff. We're gonna do a little check-in right now at the beginning, and then at the end of this video, at the end of this training, we're going to have a chance for you to get a certificate showing that you actually showed up and you did the learning, okay? I think that this training and the other trainings that you are gonna get the chance to be a part of this summer are gonna help you grow as an educator. And if you grow as an educator, all it does is help the students and the community that you live in. And so let's try our best to learn something, take something away from this that we can put in our repertoire and get better with. Okay, so the first thing I need you guys to do is I need us to check in, okay? And this check-in, what it does is it timestamps when you are here so that you might not need this later, but if your administrator or whoever comes back and they're like, how do I know you didn't just click to the end? This shows that you were here at the beginning. So you can scan the QR code that is on the screen if you have your cell phone. And on my phone with me, get your phone out. I'll use my wallet, Atlanta Braves wallet. Film that, you just hold your phone over that QR code that you see on the screen. You'll see something pop up at the top. Click that and it'll take you to where you can fill out that you were here. It's very short, very quick. I'm gonna give you a little bit of time to do that right now. Go ahead, scan the QR code, go to the website, check in, and when you do that, you will get an email. If you do not get an email immediately, this happened, I told you, I was a tech director for a long time, okay? I'd say a long time. I was a tech director long enough to know that if you don't get that email that you're filling out right now, it's because you typed your email address in wrong. That's exactly what happens. 19 times out of 19 and a half times, that's what happens. So go ahead and go to that. Remember, at the end of this session, there's gonna be another QR code that you're gonna scan that is going to give you the certification saying that you actually did the training. Both of these are time-stamped. So if your administrator or whoever's in charge of PD for your district wants to see that and be like, how do I know you did this? You've got your check-in email that is time-stamped by me, not by you. It's into a PDF or it's into that email. And then you will also have the timestamp on your certificate showing that you did this. Okay, so hopefully everybody is getting that done. Okay, giving you a little bit of time. If you have any trouble, just keep trying because I think it's pretty important to get that logged in. Now, while we're doing that, if you're finishing that up, or if you can hear me, what I would love for you to do is I would love for you to hit the red subscribe button. This is my YouTube channel, Tarver Academy. That's what I call it. It's kind of where I got this started. I had this before I had the website, and then I put up the website to put all the resources and all the stuff I was doing. But if you would hit the red subscribe button right now, that would be huge. That would be just super cool of you. And that way, you can hopefully see some of the other trainings that I'm doing, see some videos I do throughout the year to help teachers, to help students, to have fun and learn together. So hit that red subscribe button. Did you do it? Did you? You get the like too, the little thumbs up. That's just YouTube etiquette. You hit the thumbs up. It's just really nice to do. So you want to hit the thumbs up button, you can. And I would love to start this. How about this? in the chat, okay? Because if you're watching this on my website, which is where you can watch it, that's fine. You're not gonna see the chat, but if you click and watch this on YouTube, you're gonna see a chat rolling on the side of the screen. Start it off. I want you guys in the chat to say who you are, like give your name, tell us what you teach and where you teach, okay? If you're an administrator, you can say that I'm a principal, or you can say your central office, whatever you do. I've got some people that have signed up for this that are aspiring educators. So this is great to say, I wanna be an educator, I wanna be an English teacher for high school, throw that in there. If you wanna be a kindergarten teacher, toss that in there, say you're in school. It's a great way to network because I think there is an amazing community of educators here wanting to learn and grow together. And I think that it's great if we look out for each other. So throw in the chat, I want you to say your name, what you teach, and where you teach. Throw that in the chat. All right, man, we're doing good. We're doing good. It's our warm up. We're feeling good. We're stretching it out. It's always good to stretch before you stretch. I don't know, I heard some friends say that, so I say it from time to time. Okay, next thing. This is another little thing. I've got one right here. So I've written a couple books. I've done Superheroes Need Sleep Too. This is a children's book. It's like a nap time book, so you don't have to read that. But this one I think is super relevant for you. This is the Baller Teacher Playbook, and in it I have like practical advice. It's 18 chapters. So the idea is that you could do this like once a week with your team for a full semester or every other week for a year and try to improve your teaching every week. I'm not doing this to sell it to you. I'm doing this to say I'm giving some of these away all summer to people that are participating in this. So if you want a chance to win one of these, or I think I probably got some other educator books. If you're like, I don't really want your book, Tyler, I got a ton of educator books. I'll send them to you. All you got to do, follow me on Instagram at Tyler Tarver. Follow me at Tyler Tarver on Instagram, and I'm gonna be giving these out throughout the summer. You might be the person I give it to. So follow me on Instagram, and then throw something in your Instagram story if you want, just to increase your chances of me seeing it. So I'm just gonna be clicking through. I see people follow on Instagram. I'm gonna throw out stuff to them. So random people get it. You might not, but you won't if you don't. So there we go. Y'all feeling good? Does everybody feel good? Everybody throw in the chat who they are, where they teach, what they teach. Okay, so to explain also what this is, you are watching, this is a live broadcast. So this is going as a YouTube premiere or a full-on live video. So one of the two. Either way, that chat is happening live. Everybody that jumps into this video at any point is gonna be watching it at the same time as you. So it's great to get in the chat and talk, discuss, ask questions, give input. If we ask a question in the video, you can type it in your notes, but you can also type it in the chat. You can copy paste from the chat. It's a great way for you to be a part of this live broadcast, okay? So if you have a Google Notes, if you have a notes document, if you wanna take notes by hand, I've got a template for notes if you want. It sent it to you whenever you filled out your email. It should have been on that page whenever you did your check-in at the beginning. If not, it's on like every PD page. I have my website, tarveracademy.com. Click on PD and you get a free notes template, or you can take notes in your own doc. However you want to do it, take notes, write down stuff that's relevant to you, and copy paste stuff that people put in the chat. There's gonna be people in the chat that are way smarter than me. And so I'd love for you to copy paste that into the notes, and you can take that and make your teaching game elevate. So next thing, while we're getting logged in, people are still jumping in here. They're still jumping in the video, giving you a few minutes to do that. We're also, if you want to watch these videos, because after this ends, it's going to be gone off of here. However, I'm going to be putting all of these trainings, all like 30 something trainings. I think it's over like 120 hours worth of trainings. I'm putting all of that for people that join what I call the Tarver Academy Honor Roll. It's a small group of educators who are trying to get better every week, and I send out weekly emails during the school year to where you're getting templates, you're getting resources, back to school starter kits, you're getting templates for Google Forms, trainings, PDs, tons of stuff every single week delivered to your inbox, and also you have access to all of these trainings. That is available if you go to tarveracademy.com/honor roll if you want to. I think it's a great decision. I think it's a great decision. Nobody's in here. Who am I talking to? I'm not talking to anybody. Okay, y'all feel good? Y'all ready to start? Y'all feel good? This is a little warm up. We'll explain what's going on. Everybody feel good? 1 to 10. Put in the chat how you feel today. Or give me this, how about this? Give me an emoji of how you're feeling today. That'd be better, 1 to 10, or give me an emoji. I'd love to see it. Or just give me a word. You're like, I don't want to do an emoji. Give me a word. How you feeling today? And let's get rolling. Remember, input in the chat, take notes, learn, grow. Welcome to the best professional development that you're gonna do. Not guaranteed, but it's an opinion, but it's also true, but it might be biased, but it's gonna be a great summer. It's gonna be a great training. Hope you guys learn something. Hope this adds you value that you can then bring to your students and make your school, your community, yourself better in some way. Guys, we're about to get started. Y'all excited? Y'all ready? About to do this. Let's get ready to learn and have fun. Tarver Academy. Let's go. Let's go. Hit it. Let's go. What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Digital Interactive Notebooks. Today, we're going to be talking through several digital interactive notebooks that you can use and apply to your class. But even more than that, if you will, we're going to be talking through how to actually create them, how you can apply them, and hopefully give you some ideas for how you're building interactive notebooks. What are digital interactive notebooks? You know, whenever I first started, I didn't first started making resources, but back in the summer, I was making resources and I put a couple out there on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram. And I had a couple teachers, I was like, hey, what do you guys need? What would be helpful to have as you go into a new school year? And a lot of teachers said digital interactive notebooks. And I was like, well, I know what those words mean separately. I'm not positive what they mean put all together. And so I'm like, well, what is that? I looked up a couple online and I was like, okay, this is pretty incredible. It's essentially like a packet that you can assign digitally and you can build in. It's like how I used to it's like handing them like a journal like this, but it is a digital version of that. It's something that you can take and you can adapt and adjust and put links in, because I'll tell you this, paper, when you click that link, it usually doesn't open anything. So I think this is a super useful repertoire to have. Tool to have in your repertoire. It's not just a repertoire. It's a tool to have in your repertoire, and I'm building these. And here's the deal. I learned this because I made one, and it took me, oh my goodness. I think it's the first one we're actually talking about is my digital interactive notebook, and I'm doing a full walkthrough of that for a while. And it takes me like 30 minutes just to explain how to use it. You can imagine how long it took to actually create it. It was the first time I ever got into Template Builder and started actually creating and changing and doing all that stuff. So it was a process. But my next ones, which we're going to talk about later, I did a quote of the day assignment and then daily student reflection journals. There's a couple of other of the notebooks that I've created. From there, I could take that first one I made and you're duplicating, and then you're just moving around. You're not starting from scratch. So whether you use my templates or you use someone else's templates, don't start from scratch, duplicate that, and then edit it to make it applicable for you and your class, okay? And all the ones I'm talking about today are available. You can take them. They're on tarveracademy.com/resources. You can go in and use my templates and take them and adapt them to actually fit your class, but it gives you a starting point for when you're creating these digital interactive notebooks, okay? Now, I've talked about and shown walkthroughs on this stuff through different sessions that we've done, but this is one that's just focused solely on there, so we're gonna talk through all of them today. And if you've heard it before, cool. During that time, I want you to create and adapt and adjust. Don't just sit there and be like, well, I've heard him talk about this before. That's fine. Repetition reinforces. That's what my 8th grade science teacher told me when he kept repeating stuff. So it's like repetition reinforces. Getting to do and see it more often is going to help you get more reps so that you feel more comfortable in either using, creating, or adapting these resources. So the way today's going to kind of flow out, I'm going to start off talking about, talking through a digital interactive notebook. What does it look like? What are the aspects of it? How do you assign it? All of that for one that I made, which you can, again, have the template of. After that, my friend Suzanne is going to walk through how she's utilized digital interactive notebooks in her classroom. And then we're going to roll into my quote of the day digital interactive notebook, where we're going to talk through it. Then we're kicking to my other friend Mary, who is going to talk through how she's been utilizing digital interactive notebooks in her class. And then we're going to end as I go through how to actually, starting with, this is a create with me, you're going to create a daily student journal in using Google Slides. That's what I use for almost all of my digital interactive notebooks. You're gonna create it in Slides with me, hopefully open up another tab, work with me, and build that out. And then we're gonna end with how to implement that into our classroom. What does that look like for teachers? And I'm going to explain that again before each of these sessions so you know what's coming. But we're going to start off by just going through a digital interactive notebook. And again, you can have this copy if you would like, tarveracademy.com/resources. I'm so excited you're here. I'm so excited you're learning with me. And I hope that you're able to build some skills during these sessions to where you can go in and create and adapt and use these to better serve your students in the environment you're in today. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you here in a few seconds. Let's go. Today, I want to walk you through a resource I just made, but you could have gotten this resource from anywhere. You could have bought it off Teachers Pay Teachers. You could have, this is not sponsored by Teachers Pay Teachers, but I made a free one. If you want it, you can edit it, make it yours, but I want to walk you through it and kind of give you the thoughts behind it. This is also a great thing that you can do and post this video in your Google Classroom with the resource, and your students can watch this. So hello, students, if you're here, keep working hard, edit this resource, make it work for you. So I'm going to walk you through kind of the mindset behind the resource. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to subscribe. So please hit the red subscribe button. It's right underneath here. If you want to hit that, that'll be incredible. It'll change your life. Just kidding. But it would be really cool of you to hit it. It's free. So hit that red subscribe button so you can come find this later. There you go. That's why you should do it. So I have linked the resource in my Instagram bio. So where I kind of put all of my links, my templates, my resources, all of that stuff. So you can go search there on your phone right now. Hey, Mary, what's up? How you doing, girl? It's good to see you. So if you could, you can click the link underneath this YouTube video. It's in the description, or you just go to @TylerTarver. I can toss that up on the screen. Check this out. Get your free copy at the link in my Instagram bio. So you can go on your phone and see it if you want, but I'm going to walk you through it on the screen. So this is my Instagram. Just go to that link right there. And this is where I kind of keep all of my resources, like a quick reference guide for you guys to grab anything you want. You can hit those like and follows if you want, but you don't have to. So let's go down. It's like the third or fourth one right now. It might move in the future if you're watching this in the future, in a world. Just kidding. So if you want, grab that. Will this resource work with Canvas? Yes, Tammy, if you guys use Google at your school, this resource will work. This is a Google-centered resource, so you can toss it in there. You can toss it in Classroom. You can toss it anywhere you want, and you don't have to require it. You could, but it's also a resource that can help students plan their week because it gets confusing. And that's one of the big things of virtual education is it gets really hard for people to plan and schedule. And so this can help you do it. This can help you help them schedule, or they can schedule themselves. I'm going to show you both ways to do that. Leslie said you work for a district that uses all Microsoft. Go ahead and leave the district. That's terrible. That's terrible. Come on. Why are we still acting like Microsoft is decent? Like, let's get out of here. Okay. So right here, it's like the fifth one down. I've got the digital notebook full semester, and then I've got the weekly one. So we're going to go through both. Personally, if you've already started the school year, I would recommend using the weekly one, which I'm going to walk through. It's very similar. There's a couple changes I made, and then there's the full resource on the digital notebook here, or the full semester, and that's what we're going to go through first. Leslie's like, can I use your resource? Absolutely. You can figure out a way to use this stuff. It could be just for you, for planning, and you can attach it to your own Gmail account. So here we go. You're going to click on that digital notebook full semester. Now, it's going to prompt you to make a copy. The reason I do this is so you can edit this to make it yours. I made what I think is good, but you might not like that. It might not work for your class. Change it, adjust it, edit that resource. So hit make a copy. Now, it is making a copy in your drive. I do not have access to this, okay? I do not have access to this, okay? So I've got like a welcome page on here. It's just saying hello to you or the students. You can delete that if you want or leave it on there. It's up to you. Listen to your heart. When it's calling to you. Why do I sing? I'm so sorry. If you're watching this, I apologize for that. Okay. So I did this like a traditional notebook. I made it an 8.5 by 11. So if you wanted to print off pieces of this, you could. You could print this off if you want. I thought it might fit better and be more like, because the slideshows feel like you're doing a presentation. This feels more like a notebook. Plus, I can toss resources on the side, which you're going to see in a second. Okay. So we'll go down to here. All right, so this is like your title page, okay? So if you're handing this out, you would have the student write their name right here. It's all editable. You can put like Harry Potter. There they go. They can write their name right there. Also, they write the subject they're in. They can do this by subject. They can do it if, like, say it's like a lower grade where it's like everything. They can organize all of it here. I've given the flexibility for them to be able to use this, or you to use this and expand it and grow it as your school years goes on. This might not be a bad idea to start with one of these and then put your resources in it. You know, I've tossed out some Google Sheet curriculum maps, and I think those are great, but a lot of us like the photos, we like the dynamics, the graphics, all this. It's almost like a work through of our day. So put the subject, you can put geometry. That's not how you spell geometry. That's how you spell geometry. Okay, and then you can put your favorite quote here. I'm just gonna leave it. No, I'll put a quote. I'll put a quote, guys. How about this? Cool beans. Rod Kimball. Remember that? Hot Rod? Nope. Okay, it's fine. You don't have to remember it. Put your favorite quote there. I thought that might be a good way for you to see their personality and maybe reference it if you need a quick look in the future. Okay, so then the second slide is important links. Now, remember, we're in the full semester one right here. Thank you, Jennifer, for saying that. I appreciate it. I hope that's the reason I make these resources, is so that they can help you guys. Okay, so this one you could set up once in the weekly or in the full semester. And I think this could be really easy. I know one of the things I've seen with my kids and my students at my school and my actual kids is that they need quick references to all these important links. And it's like, yeah, we talked about on the first day. Like, how many of us remember what we talked about on the first day? So it's good to add these in here. So on the right side of the screen, I've tossed a bunch of links to stuff I think can help them, like walkthroughs of Jamboard, Gmail, Docs, all these things that they can use. You can go in and be like, you know what? My students are never going to use this. So you can delete, like, this isn't a math class, Tyler. You can delete that. Like, I don't care. You can delete whatever you want. Okay. Those are helpful links that I thought would be helpful. Now, on the left side, that's where you're going to put your stuff. So you can put like classroom links. You could say Google Classroom. And then you could link to your classes, like the Google Classroom link. Because, you know, especially if they're younger kids, they might not know where it is. Okay, you could link to, if you're using a different LMS, so our school LMS, and you can link to there. So put any links. You can link to the syllabus. Kimberly, are you starting tomorrow? Are y'all starting school tomorrow? You're going to do great. You're on here. You're excited. See, you're hyped. Oh, you did say that. I'm sorry, I didn't see your first comment. Y'all are starting school tomorrow. You're going to do great. It's going to be a great year. You're going to learn a ton, and it's going to grow your teaching repertoire, okay? Mary, you said this is what you're doing with English 11th and 12th, and you now have in-person, quarantine, and virtual all at once. That's easy, right? That's so easy to do. You know what you could do? You know, the way in my mind is this would be like something you hand out to all your students and they build their own. Or you can make this one public one and share it with all the students so they can get the links off of it as their week goes. And then they can kind of pick and choose what they want. So put links to different things that you think are important right here. If you've got like our, you know, school grade book, you can link to that. So put those links in there. This is kind of like your reference thing up here. So you're using Google Classroom, Kimberly. You're going to love it. Google Classroom, it's going to take a little bit of time when you start rolling, and then you can start going. Leslie asked if Google interface works with Blackboard. I think it does. I know you can definitely put links in there because at the very least, Google is available on the internet. So you can just toss those links in. And so at the very least, yes, you can toss links in. But I know that like any LMS that's worth anything incorporates Google because Google's the best thing for education ever. Okay, so Mary, good point. Teaches if you're online, no matter what, the students in class won't miss anything. At the bottom of this page, if you'll notice, there are some quotes. So I tossed different quotes in at the bottom of this. And I call this the baller teacher, you know, or the baller semester digital notebook. I don't know what I'm calling it. But at the bottom, it says, discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Abraham Lincoln. So anytime you see a quote, this is just a little Easter egg, if they'll call it that. If you see a quote on the page, if you click that, it will take you to a YouTube video where I'm actually explaining that exact quote. I do this series called Rock the Quote. And so this takes you to a video where you can hear the quote and hear the thoughts behind it. So I don't know, that's just a fun little thing that I added into it. That's not me. I don't know who that is. Is that an ad? I think that's an ad. It's got to be an ad, or else I'll link to the wrong thing and share it with everybody. Sorry, everybody. Yes, it's an ad. Thank goodness that's an ad. Oh, man, that scared me pretty good right there. Also, be careful about ads in your class. So I've never seen that ad before, so don't think that pops up on all my videos. So quote of the day, you can click on those quotes at the bottom, and it takes you to a video where I explain that quote. Just a fun little thing. Now, third sheet in this notebook It is Google Help videos. So I know a ton of you guys are using Google in your classes. And so, I've made these cheat sheets. I have, Resource Bank said, I like to party. Better quote from Hot Rod. Absolutely. And they like getting that argument about who likes to party. You don't like to party. He likes to party. It's like, no, I like to party. No one else parties. So I've also made the third page is some Google Help videos. These are quick tutorials. I know you guys have probably seen my Google Teacher cheat sheet and my Google Student cheat sheet. If you haven't, I've got it on my website, tarveracademy.com. It's free. It's just like this one doc or website that has like everything they would need to know. And so I've got some quick resources here for your students or for you on Google. I kind of geared these towards students, but you can have them if you want to. Okay, next, navigation. Now remember, this is a full semester. So you've got 18 weeks that you're going to be building stuff out. You don't want to like scroll through and search for whatever week it is. So I actually made a navigation section on like right there at the beginning, where if you click on it, you can just click on like, okay, I need to jump to week 14. You can click here and then click on week 14, takes you to slide 138. It's a lot of slides. Boom, you're on week 14. And then you can start working through that week. So that navigation is really helpful, especially as you start or your students start building out your entire semester. Next. Okay, let's get back up. Here we go. Okay, so now here, this one, I didn't know if it'd be helpful, but I thought it's better to toss it in there. Toss it in. Mary, yes, this took a lot of time. It took a lot of time to do all this. It's funny, a lot of those Google videos, because all those links are my videos that I made. And I made those all last year, and I put them out and I was like, oh, nobody cares about these resources. I just wasted 3 months of my life making these resources. And then now people are starting to use them. So that's really cool. So thank you, Tammy, for saying that. I'm trying to simplify this stuff for you guys. Let me get back into this. Okay, sorry. So I'm on this attendance one. I didn't know if this would be helpful for you guys. It might be helpful for the students. It depends on how you want to do this. Okay, if this is for you, for them, I just thought this might be the best way we could do it. They could go in and do attendance through the week. And so present, absent, or tardy. That way a student can let you know what their plans are. And I put these little icons here. And I put instructions over here on how to make copies, because I didn't want to toss in, because that would have been 5 times 9, 45 times 3. So that's 135 of these icons. Would have been insane. So I showed them how to make a copy of this. So I've got a link to a video in there. See, it's right there. I keep pointing to it. You can't see my hand. I've linked to a quick video on how to do it. It's like less than a minute, or I walk them through. Hold Option, click it, drag it, and then drop it. You could also work out a color system if you wanted to where they could like make little things and like color code it, however you want to do it. So there you go. They can link to stuff when they're here. They can link to it, hold Option, click and drag. And then they can click and drag, and you can change these icons. And like you might have, because I know there's some schools that are doing, they're like, oh, I'm out for COVID. So they could go in and mark COVID through all this. Thank you, Leslie, for saying you like the resources. Honestly, guys, I love making resources that people actually use. I made resources for years that no one ever used. And now I'm like getting the chance to put them into these resources. So it's been really cool. So thank you guys for y'all's encouragement. That legit means a lot to me. And I appreciate you guys a lot. So go in here, you can use this. Students can. There's the first 9 weeks, and there is the second 9 weeks. So if you want to use those, you can, or you can delete them out of it. Any of these slides, like you're like, you know what, Tyler, that's not how we're doing attendance. Just delete them out before you share it. See, deleted. Okay. So there you go. Cool. So let's walk through what a week looks like. So whenever you go in here, I added a section on the actual page where you can go in and you can add stuff in there. Like, we have an assembly on Tuesday, picture week, don't forget to submit assignment, whatever you want, anything you want in here. Like you can toss information right there on the top of the week that's pertinent to that week in there. So, okay, rolls in here, week at a glance. My idea was that they could go in and they could take this and they say week 1. And then they're looking at like, what do I have coming up this week? What is going on Monday? Monday, focus on your math. It's difficult. They can throw in ideas, things like that. They can add stuff in. Wednesday, you could say, we have class presentations. Whatever you want or whatever the student wants to put in there, they can toss those in there for the week. And it's kind of like a glance at your week. Now, then I thought, okay, there's a week, but then like, let's really focus on what do we need daily? All right. And I love, this is my Michael Hyatt planner. It's like, these are like $40 a pop, but they're really great because they break your week down. And so I kind of used it as inspiration for my daily stuff. And so I broke down their week Monday through Friday. And remember, I've got a weekly version of this. So if you wanted to, you could actually put their stuff in there for them for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like, these are your 3 most important things. These are things you need to work on, be thinking about, etc. You can toss those things in there and use them as a resource they can have through, throughout the week, to help guide themselves during the week. Here we go. So here we go. Monday, here we go. So if they can put the date here, so you can call it September, what is today? September 6th, 7, 2020. There you go. You put the date in, and then they need to mark out what are the most important things I need to do this week. I need to finish project for science. I need to, email teacher about late homework. Then they can put stuff that's also important, start working on, pizza project. I don't know why. There you go. And they can put in those different things that they need throughout the week. And then they would just you could sit here and you could insert a, not that, say, let's do this right here. You can toss in a shape. You can just put anything you want as a shape. You can put the shape in there and say, I finished a shape. I finished it that day. And they can also grab an icon that they like. And then you can fill in this, boom, done. That's how you can fill it in. I could have made those boxes, but I don't know. I might go back and do that for you guys so you don't have to do that on your own. But just an idea. There you go. There you go. Okay. Trying to go paperless. Mary's trying to go paperless and minimize materials being passed back and forth. So you're using, oh, yes. So take this, steal anything you want out of it. It's all yours. Okay. So I've got Monday all the way through Friday. So this can be your whole week planned out. And again, you could toss this stuff in there for them, or you can let them build it out as they go. So to-do list. Then I've got some just basic notes pages here. I just kind of stuck this in here so they could use it if they want it. They want to take notes, etc. Then I thought, I never used Cornell Notes, but I know a lot of people did. And so I actually made a page for Cornell Notes as well. So if you want to use that, you can have it. And then I thought this would be a good way to end the week. Big wins from the week, because I don't think students or teachers reflect enough in what we do. And so we could say this is still, week 1. And then I can say, what went well this week? We didn't run over, finished everything on time. There you go. I didn't spell everything right. And then I've got a section for how could it be better? So it's a good way to improve, because this is the thing. It might have been the perfect week. You could probably still make it better. Should have studied more. There you go. So you can toss that information in as well. And then we start on week 2. And this goes on, I've got weeks 1 through 18. So for the full semester, you should be able to use this one notebook if you want. Okay. And at the very end, the only real change is I tossed in something into the semester thoughts. It's just a page. And if you wanted to, you could have them when they submit their notebook to you at the end of the year, or you actually will have access to it if you do it through Google Classroom, like I'm about to show you. But you can use that and go look at it at any time. Okay, so let's see, how would I actually assign this notebook to my students? I'm going to kind of walk you through that, because I know that can be helpful. So let's go to classroom.google.com. Now, this, if you're using Google Classroom, you might be using Blackboard or Canvas or something like that. But if you're using Google Classroom, this is how I would assign it. And you just kind of adapt it or tweak it a little bit based on what you're using. Okay, so let's say I'm going to History of Magic. Okay, and I want to go to I would recommend putting it under classwork. Okay, I'm going to show you why. Stream, it just, after you post it and stuff happens, it's hard to find. It's hard to locate. But if you go to classwork, you can hit create, and then I would make it a material, unless you're going to take a grade on it, and then you can make it an assignment and make the due date the end of the year. That's actually a really good idea. Okay, so you can make it a material if you want, just leave it there. I always did notebook checks, so I would make it an assignment, and I would put the title, first semester digital notebook. And then I would just say, plan and organize your week, reflect on each week, keep everything linked, updated in here. Awesome. Okay. And then you can make it worth 100 points. And then I would make the due date the very last day of the semester. So it would, because honestly, it's going to pop up and it'll remind them that they've got it due. So you can make it September, December 18th, whenever your final day is. The main thing, whether you make it a material or if you make it a end of the semester assignment, is to put it under class resources. Don't stick it in with that week. Okay, either if you're doing it by week or by unit, make sure you put it in under class resources. That way it's a lot easier for them to find it. Now, this part's important. You guys ready? You need to go to, let me make that a little bit bigger for you guys so you can see it. Is that better? Awesome. Now, we need to add the resource in. We don't want to email it to them. Make a copy. That's going to complicate things. And plus, you're not going to have access to it throughout the year. So I'm going to click Add. And I'm going to go to my Google Drive. And I'm going to grab that document that I just made. So I'm just going to go here. It is a recent one. Where is that little guy? Where is that little guy? I think I called it. I can search for it. Baller. Hopefully I didn't open it up in the wrong account. It looks like I may have. Let's get a little more specific on our search. We want it to be a presentation. There we go. There we go. Here we go. Okay. Did I add it to my, I need to add it to my drive. Nope, it's already in my drive. Oh, it's in the wrong account. Come on now. See, I knew it. I'm going to add it to my other account so that you guys can see what it actually looks like. So we're going to go Tyler at, make sure you add in the right account. There we go. Editor. There we go. There we go. All right, now I'm going to switch accounts. Excellent. Sorry about that, guys. Thank you for staying with me. Hope I didn't lose you. Okay, so what we're doing right now is we've just had the full resource, which is linked in my Instagram bio, which is linked in the description. Okay, I've also got it on the screen. It's linked in there. It's called Digital Baller Notebook or Digital Notebook dash full semester. Okay, awesome. So now what we're doing is we're putting this in our Google Classroom. Okay, so I'm going to toss this in my Google Classroom. So let's go back over here. Let's find this presentation. I'm going to click Add, Google Drive. Now I want to find it. Here we go. Here we go. Waiting on this. Here we go. There we go. Got it. Click, insert, boom. Okay. Now this is key, guys. This is vital right here. Mary said you left yours without a topic, so it would stay at the top. What do you think? No, I wouldn't do that, Mary. And here's why. Okay. Because you can move those topics. I'm going to show you that in here in a second. Don't let me forget. So in the comments, tell me if I don't show you. Okay, so we're wanting to post this resource, but we want to make a copy for each student so everybody has their own notebook. So I'm going to click on Students, not can view file, make a copy for each student. And I'm going to hit Assign. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to create a copy for all the students in my class to have their own copy that only they and me have access to. Now, Mary, I want to show you what I would have done. You can still change it. You can still add topics. So this is what I would do. Go to those assignments and start sorting them into either by week, like week 1, week 2, week 3, okay? Or do it by unit, unit 1, unit 2, unit 3. And then always, no matter which one you choose, always have a class resources. This is like your syllabus, important links, this digital notebook, whatever they're going to need commonly throughout the semester, no matter which unit or which week, then I would do that. Okay, good. Mary, you did weeks. Okay, do class resources. You have your weeks. Watch what you can do. Those 3 dots right there, you can click that and you can move it up or down. So I can move class resources up to the top. I think you can also click and drag. Yeah, you can click and drag your weeks. So I can click and drag week 3 up to the top. I can drag my weeks around from there. So that's what I would do. And I would always just keep class resources right at the top because this is stuff they're going to need to refer to a lot. So I would keep that there. Hopefully I answered your question. I hope I did. Thank you, Joshua. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's the class resources. Seriously, like because my kids are in there and it's like they're searching and finding all these important things. I would definitely recommend making like your class resources. That's the stuff you're going to hit at any point. It can be like a link. You can just have an entire class resource that is just like how to check your grades or Google tutorials or whatever you want. You could put my Google cheat sheet for students and link that as a class resource. So definitely get that, push it at the top. Okay. Now, when I do that, watch this. Do my dance. When I go to my drive, this is what's awesome about it. You now can view everybody's notebook at any point in time because you did it through Google Classroom. Watch this. I can go to my classroom folder. I'm going to pick on that class, which was, oh, where is that class? I don't see it. Oh, no. Am I the creator of it? That stinks. What am I doing? Like logging into the wrong accounts. Come on, Tyler, you're better than that. Okay. Let's see, make sure I've got it. Okay, let me try this. History. Let me see if I can search that class. Man, don't you love technology? It's like you're thinking something's working and then you're like, I was signed into the wrong account. All the time. Happens all the time. Well, okay, so who's the owner of that class? Okay, I'm so sorry. Let's see. People. I mean, I'm the owner of it. Got it. Thank you. History of Magic. Let's see. There should be a folder in Classroom under that. Let's see. Can I move it out of it? Maybe I deleted it. I don't know. Okay, so we will. Thank you for your patience. We're going to find it. We're going to find it. I want to show you where you can see it. Anyways, there's a link under Classroom, and then you can go to that folder of that class, and then you can actually see all of them. It'll be listed by their names and everything. So you'll be able to look at any student's presentation at any time, and also you can search. So if like a student did something, you could search in your Google Drive, and you could find like that word out of that presentation and pull that up. So you could see what kid wrote it or did something from that. Let's see. Okay, yours will be under Classroom. I don't know why mine isn't. Okay, so that's how I'll do it if it's a full semester. Now go in and edit mine. Now also in here, when you do this, even if you're not using it, you can actually take all of that stuff, because I made Cornell notes, I made regular notes. You can build your own notebook. It is a template. If you click the drop down, I made a ton more like this style, like headers and notes and all this other stuff. And you could scroll through and use any of these pages, the attendance pages, the weekly stuff, notes pages. I've got different colors if you like the maroon or if you like the red. Yes, Mary, that's exactly right. You do become a collaborator with every student, and you have the ability to go, yes, like Big Brothers, 1980, very 1984 of you, because you can go in and check at any time. So you can go in, they can use the to-do list, you can make extras, you can do anything you want with those resources. Now, I want to show you guys my weekly one, okay? This one, if you've already started your school year, and I'll be honest, if I was teaching right now, I would do the weekly one. I would not do the full semester. The full semester is almost daunting to me because it's the entire semester at once, unless I was just like handing it to the students saying, good luck, guys, figure it out. Like maybe the older grades, I would do it. But especially with the younger, middle, and younger grades, I would definitely do weekly. And here's why. All that stuff you can put in, those links, to-do lists, all that stuff, you can add that in for them. So I think if you click on this, you can go in, and click on it, click on the link. Oh, sorry. Go to my Instagram account, click on the link. It's right there underneath the lightning bolt. And then it's the resource. It is like the 5th or 6th one down. It says weekly, digital notebook weekly. Do y'all see that? Digital notebook weekly. Click on that. It's going to make a copy for you that is now your copy. So I'm going to click make a copy. Now, this one, it's like the other one. It's very similar. I changed up some of the attendance stuff, but I kept a lot of it the same. And so you can go in and edit this, and this allows you to make adjustments and modifications. Because here's the thing with the full semester. When you share it and make a copy for everybody, now you can't go in and make like a bulk edit on week 5, or you can't go in and change a notes page that you figure out doesn't work for you. This one you could change week to week and adjust. So the opener is very similar. They put their name in, they put all that stuff in there. Then you've got your important links. Now, here you can adjust different links. Say you're going to go over Thomas Jefferson, and you want to go find different links that are important for that week on Thomas Jefferson, you could toss them in here under classroom links. Go to I've still got Google Help videos in there if you want those. Now, here's what I changed on attendance for weekly. And again, you can adjust this. You can go in and change any of these master slides if you want to. Do y'all know how to do that? I'll show you how to do that. So let's see, Google Help videos. Let me click the link to the next page. There it is. There's the Google Help videos. And then we've got our attendance. Okay, so I changed it up for this week. This is really the main change I made on the weekly besides it's just being 1 week. I kind of went in and made it to where they could see their schedule for the week. And a lot of them are going to work in the morning, they're going to have lunch, and they're going to work in the afternoon, and then they might work at night for homework. I made it to where they could put their stop time. So if a student was required to, they could go in and put, I started at 8 o'clock, and then they quit working at 12. I think I just deleted the entire text box. Come on back. Come on back, little buddy. There we go. My computer's moving slow because I'm doing too much, bro. Okay, so I'll go in. I'm going to start at 8 o'clock. And then I can say, you know what? I'm going to end working at 11. And students could actually go in and show you their schedule for the week. And then you'll know when you can contact them. That's one way to do it. Adjust this, change it, whatever. And then I also want them to reflect on it. So it's what worked on your schedule this week and then what didn't work. And so I've got 2 boxes there where they can put that information in and check it out. So the rest of it's very similar to the full semester one, to where it's got their every day. They can add in different notes pages, all of it. So if you think this is helpful, cool, please use it for your class. Again, if you want to know how to get there, you can go to the link in my Instagram bio. And I've also got a link, if you're on YouTube, it's linked in the description. Just click my Instagram, go to the bio. You're good to go, and you can have it. Also, I've got, a ton more resources. And then the people that I notified about this live, because this is live, if you're watching it later, that's cool. But I actually have a text list, and it's completely free. And it's a list of people that it's free for you guys. It costs me money. But it's a way for me to send out hey, I'm going live. I literally sent out this resource to them. And then I just said, going live in a few minutes if you want to join. And so I would assume most of you guys are there. So if you want to join that, you can just text teacher to 501-214-4071. That adds me in your phone book so I can send you resources whenever I make them. Because I didn't know I was going to make this digital interactive notebook. Then I was on TikTok and I asked teachers, what do you need? And they said, hey, we need a ton of resources is what we need. We need a bunch of interactive notebooks. I was all right, cool. So I Googled what that was and I made some. So if you want them, use them. They're yours. I hope they help. Thank you guys for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. And as we roll in, I wanted you to hear the perspective from some other educators. And Suzanne Potler was so kind to spend her time showing us how she's utilized digital interactive notebooks. And I love what she's done with hers and the way it looks and the way she's doing it, where it looks genuinely like a notebook with dividers, and how she's incorporating all of these things. So let's go in, and we're going to be kind and polite and go in and listen to her perspective and see some of what she's created as a tool, and see what we can pull from that and apply it to our classroom. So Suzanne, take it away.
Good morning. Due to the many different unique situations we've all experienced this past year due to the COVID pandemic, I had to figure out a way to create a digital paperless classroom so that I could reach all of my students who were in countries around the world who just couldn't get back to the country in which that I teach. Therefore, I went online and I found a number of educators who were using what is considered the digital interactive notebook. And I thought I would share that with you today. I teach secondary students who, are very mature in many regards. And the idea of having this colorful, playful tool somehow worked. It didn't offend them that I was treating them like children, or the colorful nature, the engaging nature of this notebook actually worked with my students who are 18, 19, 20 years old. They use this as a digital tool to do all of their work each week that we met throughout this year. So this is a sampling of a notebook that I'm going to share with you and talk to you a little bit about how I created it and used it in the classroom. Now, the first thing is you'll notice that this is a template. This comes from slidesmania.com. It's a free Google slide template. And what they have done, it's just a Google slideshow, but rather than being the horizontal rectangle that slides usually is in, they've just simply changed the sizing. So now it looks like a piece of paper. And in fact, if my students are to print this notebook, which some of them like to have paper in their hands, this would print as a traditional piece of paper would. Now, this image on the front, the Do Your Best East and West, is an activity I did at the beginning of the year with my students called the 6-word memoir. And so each week's notebook included a sampling of a 6-word memoir from a different student in the class. So started off by trying to personalize this and involve all of the students in being a part of this cohesive classroom, even though it was a virtual classroom and we did not spend much time in face-to-face contact. In real life, I should say. We did have face-to-face contact by video camera, but not in real life. What I liked about these Google Slides is I could divide the categories of what we were doing each week into different components, and it basically helped my visual students see what needed to be done each week. In addition, the secret bonus that I wasn't expecting was that my students who were absent, I didn't have to spend so much time going over missed work. I could simply say to the student, please look at slides numbers 5 through 7 and do the activity on slide 8. And it was enough to give them an idea of what they needed to do. So let me just show you how I organized this. I started off with an introduction each week so that the students would know basically what was happening that week and in this notebook. And then for my more visual learners, I posted our big sort of learning targets, as well as you can see the pacing guide of what we were trying to do each class period of the week, as well as the accompanying slides that they would need to do and so forth. So what I found was that this was a very, very organized approach, if you will, to my learning, and that students were able to follow it. On the teacher side, it did require me to be very, very detailed and organized up front to set this up each week. But once I put in that time up front, the rest of the week would roll out quite easily. But it was a commitment on the teacher side to get this prepped for the week. And if I start off with my introduction, I start off with just general information. But you can see the first thing here is I'm having them insert a link to one of their favorite TED Talks. So the beautiful thing about these digital notebooks set up as slides is that you know the multimedia components that can be here. You can include videos, you can include links to articles for the students to read, you can include images. Often I have movable parts, so the students have to realign like different sticky notes and things into the notebook. It's very, very hands-on and engaging. So the multimedia component was a huge, huge benefit of using these digital notebooks. Like I said, it was incorporating all the different types of learning materials into one platform. What I found was when I was uploading everything to Google Classroom, it was great, it was easy for me, but the students, you know, they would get an email every single time I would do an upload. They'd have 15 emails just from me, you know, multiplied by all of their teachers. And I kept saying, well, you can change your settings. Well, they didn't want to change the settings because what if it was something important, you know, that I was posting? So Google Classroom is a fantastic platform. I'm not downplaying that, but what I did was I incorporated everything into this one tool, this notebook, and then the notebook I uploaded to the Google Classroom, and they submitted it to Google Classroom, which I'll show you that in a minute. That was sort of my workaround, was getting everything, like I said, organized up front, posting it all through this one tool. Let's go on to this notebook. You can see, here's the activity here. I digitized a worksheet, and I have all this extra space to the sides of my notebook, and so I can put in additional information and things for them to look for. If I go to the next section, you can see I put big arrows talking about all the different steps, because the students in the next section will have to follow these different steps as they're doing their work. And so you can see where we're going with all of this, okay? Let me go to the next section. Whoops, excuse me. This is another activity that we had to do, and so I had all sorts of all sorts of videos within one folder, so they could just follow the hyperlink if they would to the folder, and then choose the video that they wanted to watch. Let's see. Over here, again, I filled the sides with bright colored sticky notes so they could see more information. We use those in class to talk about, as well as they could do it on their own. Like I said, they can do screenshots of work that they do and insert the screenshots. Eventually, they are typing in, whenever I do a different colored box, it means that they need to type in an answer. So there are a couple of those throughout. And eventually at the end of each one, I have them always do notes, things that they want to remember at the end of the week, because then they'll have a series of all of these notebooks by the end of the semester. When it comes time, let's say, to review, they can just look at the notes page only, but I also have them do a reflection each week. And for instance, this was an oral reflection on whether YouTube was a quality research for academic essays. So there's a variety of activities here for my students to engage in. I want to try to meet different learning styles, learning needs, but I also want students to have an opportunity to engage, like I said, with something that is kind of inviting and engaging and colorful and exciting. It's not just my teacher giving me one more academic article or one more academic worksheet. This seems sort of youthful and playful. And so my students almost forgot that they were doing academic work when they have this each week. So the question I have for each of you is, how can you best create a learning experience that allows your students to personalize all of the content knowledge that you're teaching? So for my students, like I said, each time there was a box, let me see if I can find one real quick. Here, type your thesis here. Wherever there was a colored box, they had to type in something. And it was amazing the number of students that would take the time to change the font, to change the size, to change the color. All of those were ways that showed to me that they were really engaged in the work that they were doing and were proud of the work they were doing. This helped them personalize their own learning experience. And to me, that was the key to knowing that these notebooks were working, if you will. My students were learning because they really were engaged with all the materials that were here. So finding that that experience that allows them to personalize the learning, I think, is key. And given our unique situation of teaching this past year, this certainly worked for me to be in that digital environment so that I could reach my students who were posted all around the world. Thank you.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Hey, it's Tyler here. I'm just gonna give you a little break. So if you need to go do something, you need to go use the restroom, get a snack, get something to eat, whatever, you can go do that. I was gonna chat with you about some stuff, give you some time to do that and check in, maybe say hi. If you want in the chat, let's do a little check-in. In the chat, how you feeling? Toss in your emoji of how you're feeling right now. Let's do a little emoji checkup, if you will. So while you're doing that, I do want to give, you know what? I spent a lot of time writing this book, and I genuinely think this book is going to help you in your classroom. It's gonna inspire you more than anything. It's a read with me, and one of the things that I feel like I've never been the smartest dude in the room. I've never been, the most talented, but I'll say this, I was always been pretty approachable, I think. I've been approachable, and I think what this is, I've tried to be as relatable as possible. I'm talking about my experiences, things I've run into in the classroom, what I've learned as a teacher and as an administrator and as a student, what I learned. And so this is the Baller Teacher Playbook. If you're interested in checking this out, I recommend, of course I recommend, it's my book. It's not the best book on education, but I think it's good enough to help you in some way. It's got a lot of practical experience in it. I've got quotes. That's a do you boo-boo. I could have picked a better chapter. Here's one thing. I want to show you one thing that I did at the end of each chapter, because I know teachers. Okay, I put in practical application, I put in reflection, because we know reflection is important, even though we never have time to do it, but it's got spots for you to write that in, so this is something you can work on by yourself or with your team. But here's the part that I did, and this is legit just for teachers. I don't know if you can see that. I put in, at the end of each chapter, I have a section called TLDR. That's internet talk for too long, didn't read. So what that means is, let's say you've got a team meeting, okay? Because there's 18 chapters in here. That means you and your team, or you and your building, you can go through a chapter once a week. You meet on your planning period, spend 10 minutes talking about what you did, what you tried, what worked, what didn't work, stuff to help improve your class and improve your students. Every week you can do that. Have you ever done this? In the chat, be honest, you ready? Have you ever had a team meeting where you're supposed to read something and you're walking over to the meeting and you're like, oh no, I forgot to read the thing I was supposed to read that we're gonna discuss for like 15 minutes. So you like just try to chill and like hopefully don't get called on or get called out for not reading it. At the end of each chapter, I have a section called TLDR where in like 2 to 5 bullet points, I summarize the chapter. So you could be walking to the meeting, you could read these 3 or 4 bullet points and be able to have a conversation about the entire chapter. There's stories in here, there's practical experience, there's ways that I messed up, ways that I failed, and then ways that I feel like I succeeded, and I'm just talking through what I learned from both of those. And I would love for you to learn and grow with me. So if you want to check out that book, it's on Amazon. I'll have a link on the screen if you want to get it. Link is in my bio. I link links everywhere to it. So Baller Teacher Playbook. I think it can help you in your classroom. Okay, we're about to get started. Kick back into it. Hopefully you're ready to roll, ready to go. And let's jump back in. Let's jump back in like Michael Phelps, okay? Well, does that work? Does that work? I mean, he jumps into the pool. That's what I was going for. I need to know more like high diver. High divers would have been better. I'll tell you this, we're gonna stick the landing like Carrie Strug. Y'all remember her? Carrie Strug, remember the Olympics? Georgia Olympics? Atlanta Olympics? Remember that? It's okay. It's a very narrow reference. All right, let's get started. Let's kick it off. Let's jump back in. Get your notes out. Get your screens pulled up. Get your coffee ready. Get your ice water. Your sweet tea. If you're from Arkansas like me, you know you like that sweet tea. And we're about to kick it off. Here we go. Let's get back in it. Let's get back in it. I'll see you guys. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This next session, we're actually doing a quote of the day assignment template. This is something I made that it acts as a bell ringer. It gets discussion started. It gets it to where students are thinking critically and applying what they've heard to their life and their experiences and then sharing that with the rest of the class. This has so many levels of how it can assist your students and your classroom, and I hope you can use this. This is a template you can have, and remember, you can always go in, delete my videos, and put whatever video. Say you teach math, you can put high school math videos, which I have bell ringers for that too. What's up? But also, you could go in and you could pull, history videos, short history videos. That could be the bell ringer. It's just a way to start a conversation in your class with your students every day, consistently in one digital interactive notebook. So we're doing quote of the day, and we're going to walk through this assignment and what it looks like. Again, template is available at tarveracademy.com/resources. What do I think? I'm sorry. Here we go.
And this is a walkthrough of how to utilize a resource I made. It's a bell ringer quote of the day. Like, you can either do weekly, you can submit them to your students weekly, or you can do full semester. So I'm going to give you a walkthrough on how to do this. Linked in the resource, I have a walkthrough for students. So if you're like, oh, I didn't know how to explain it to students, just let me explain it. It's like a 10-minute video. You can have them watch it. I'll walk through the entire process of it. And you can leave that in there, leave it attached for students so they can walk through it. This is for you, the teachers. All right, let's jump into it. So today, we are going through a bell ringer quote of the day resource. It's like a template you can put into Google Classroom. And I'm going to walk through the whole process for teachers of what they need to know. So to get the template, I'll have it on my website, tarveracademy.com/resources, but I just finished it last night, so I haven't put it on there. But I do have it in my Instagram bio. So if you go to the link in my Instagram bio, and then you're going to scroll down, and it's going to be right there. Quote of the day assignment template. Now, I've got it full semester. I'm going to have this where it links to a page where you can choose weekly, or you can pick the full semester. But whichever one you click on, it's going to ask you to make a copy. You go ahead and make that copy. Remember, this becomes your copy. I do not have access to it. It is 100% yours. I don't touch it. I don't have it. Okay? So what I did was I went with the same thing as we did on the lesson plans and the digital interactive notebook. I went like it was a Trapper Keeper, like its own binder, like a vertical. I didn't go this way, like a slideshow. I went vertical. So in this, it's got a little letter from me, got some links on there if you want to check it out. And then this right here, this is the this is our walkthrough for students. So students can have that video. You can paste that video in there. They can watch that to know how to complete this assignment. I'm going to show you how I would do that here in a second. Now, whenever you do this, before you assign it, this is pre-assigning it. Now, you can do this weekly or full semester. So if you're going in, the name, that's them. They're going to fill their name out, okay? And I explain that in the video on how to do that. For subject, you put your subject. So you would say, let's say it's 7th grade history. And then you could put a quote for your class. I like Theodore Roosevelt's Man in the Arena. I think that's my favorite quote. But you could fill in your favorite quote, a quote for your class, quote for the week, whatever it is. Like we do with all my resources, here's an important links page. You can go in. If you've got any of my other resources, like the lesson plans or the digital actor notebook, you can just copy paste those links into here. You could put your school website if you have like a place where they check their grades online, any other websites or resources or YouTube channels you use besides this one. Hey, what's up? Like and subscribe. Okay. Then here is the Google Help videos. It's for students if they have trouble submitting, doing anything. I've got it all on here. Where's my photo? It's not showing up. I got the new Google Meet photo, and it's not loading, but it's fine. It'll be there. So from here, this is our navigation. If you're doing full semester, they're not going to want to scroll through like 200 slides to find it. And so what they can do is they can just click on this, and it'll go directly to where they need to go. Now, keep in mind, once you submit this to your students, you will not be able to edit it. So I'm going to show you how to put it in Classroom and then make it for every student so they can fill out this notebook. It's like handing them a workbook and then they go work on it. Once you hand them the workbook, you can't go in and change it in bulk. You can go change individually, check on them individually, but you can't go in and just change them all. Once you hit submit, go for it. So if you're not comfortable with that, I recommend assigning weekly. So that's what I would recommend. All right. Now, right here, this is a completion checklist for students. Whenever they complete something, I've instructed them to go in and they click on it. I've got an invisible box there, and then they do the paint filler and show me that they completed it, or show you that they completed it. Boom. And they would just fill in every day that they go in, they would fill this in. And I've even got instructions on it right here showing, boom, how to do that. Okay. And then there's a quick video. There's the second 9 weeks, and then week 1. Load up, little guy. Sorry, I'm running off my hotspot because I'm staying at a hotel and their entire internet went down. I'm like, what in the world is happening? So it looks better than this, but it's just not loaded. Let's hit refresh, see if we can get it, make it looking clean. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching live, it means you're part of the Patreon membership. If you're not watching live, then you can always join to become a Patreon member. It's going to be the greatest investment you ever make in your life. Okay, so week 1. They'd roll into the week. You can put stuff there if you want to. You don't need to. It could be notes for you or for them. But then this is the meat and potatoes, if you will. This is where they get in and they fill out their page for the day. So if you're doing this like a bell ring, you could do it as a daily assignment. You could do it as a daily check-in. It could be a bell ringer. It could be all the above for your classes. What they're going to do is they're going to go in day by day, not all like, oh, I need to finish all this in a week. Don't do that. They could if you wanted to. But the idea is that it's incremental. They're daily thinking and processing and giving their opinion on stuff. So they go in and they watch the video. Now, Google Slides will not let you type while you're watching the video. So the video will play. The video will play. They can't take notes right here while they're doing it. So what I've done is I've instructed the students to take notes on paper and then listen to the whole video and then go in and put their answers and quotes and stuff like that. So it almost keeps them occupied in multiple ways. So they're not just like typing all the time. They're doing a combination of video and typing. But then I also showed them that they could click on YouTube right here, and that would show the video. And so now they could listen to it and type at the same time. So there's a couple options. Here is on the right. This is where they can take notes. They can put in whatever they want. Helpful, talkative, stick to your, morals. I don't know. I couldn't think of anything. So they type their notes there. They retype the quote here. And a lot of times I have the quote on the screen as like a text. Some of them I don't. It means they have to listen. Okay. They can't just like freeze frame it and be like, what's this quote? The quote stops here. That's not the quote. I'm sorry. Should have been whatever the quote was by Albert Einstein, I think. Then here's where this is the most important box for them. This is where they give their thoughts. They're summarizing their thoughts on the quote. I liked it because of this. It made me think of this. It relates to me like this. I have a video on how to do personal application, and this is what I kind of tailored it around, was how do they apply what I said to them as a person? And I say that in the video, like, how does this relate to you and where you are? Okay, that's where they would write it. This made me think about how I can work harder in my classes and not make excuses. Okay, it's always nerve-wracking whenever you type something in front of people. So we're going to do that. Sorry, I know I just excuses. I just did. Okay, here we go. Now, this part's kind of fun. I like this, and I think it's cool because you get to see a scale of students. So on the top line, this is how much do you agree with Tyler? Because in every quote of the day video, I go, hey guys, this is Tyler. I'm going to give you the quote of the day. I'm going to give you my thoughts, but I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, discussion, however. And I give my thoughts, and then I remind them at the end that I want their thoughts. This is how much do you agree with Tyler? So you would either drag the thumbs down or the thumbs up, and the students are going to drag it onto the line and put it where they agree with me. So it becomes like a rating scale for students to rate how much they agree with me, because that's, that happens in life. You agree with some people, you disagree with some people. On the bottom one, this is how much they like the quote. And they have emojis, either sad face, heart face, smiley face, fire, or trash. And so they can pick one of these. They can drag it over to the line. They can talk about how much they liked it. And that's it. They're done. Oh, they should have put the date in here. And I talked to them about that in the student one. What are we at? Let's say November 3rd, 2020. Hey, might be an important day. I spelled November wrong. So there we go. So they would go in and they fill all this out. Now, that's how the student would do it. You, whenever you're doing this, you're not going to fill all this out. Like, you're not going to put all this in here. You're going to leave these blank. Sorry. I was just showing you. I guess I could hit Z. You're not going to put all those in there. Students are going to be the ones filling these out. So you need to know your job is to put it in Google Classroom or whatever LMS your school is using. So I filled it out to the point where I've got my class name on here, 7th grade history. That's really all you have to do. I was showing you the app so you can see the student process, but really all you have to do is go in, put the title of it. And if you're doing full semester, boom. If you're doing weekly, you would do that for the week. And then you're going to go to Google Classroom. So I'm going to go into Google Classroom. I'm going to title this First Semester Quote of the Day Notebook, Mr. Tarver's class. Okay. Now I'm going to go to my class. I'm going to go to classwork. I'm going to go to create. And I want to create an assignment. Now from here, it would say daily bell ringers. Let's see, fill in all of the information every day. Make sure you're doing the checklist. Okay. I don't think they have a ton of questions. Let's go ahead and we're going to add our resource. I'm going to hit add, and I'm going to go directly to Google Drive, because when you created that copy, it went into your Google Drive. And so now I can go in, I can grab it and insert it. Okay. Now here, this is important, guys. You don't want students to just view the file. You want students to each have their own copy. So make a copy for each student. Now, it wouldn't hurt for you to go in and get that video. Now, I know it's in there, but it wouldn't hurt for you to go in here and you can grab this link. So you can just like right click on it and then copy link address. And then you can go, hold on, I'm going to X out of that because I'm yelling in my ear on the video. So I'm going to add that video link. So I'm going to go to YouTube and I'm going to go to URL. I'm going to add that video link. Boom. Okay. So instructions are in the video. Okay. That's pretty simple. All right. So you've got that. Make sure you go over here and you adjust all of the stuff you need to adjust. So how many points? I mean, this is going to be a full semester, so I'd make worth like 200 points. You could do due date. You could do, let's see, you don't want to make the end of the semester. So let's say I did this first semester is December 25th, Christmas Day. Eesh, that's not a good time. And topic, I would put this under either bell ringers or important links and materials. You don't want to attach this to if you're sorting your Google Classroom topics by week, doing them weekly would be perfect. You could just attach that at the top of each week, and then you're done. Or you could put it under, like, since I'm doing full semester, I'm putting it under classroom resources, because that's something that is things they need to access throughout the entire semester. Okay. And once you hit assign, it's going to make a copy for every single student in your class. And so they're going to be going in, it's building out that thing that we walked through. Everybody's going to have their own. And you're going to be able to go in and see that at any time. I'm going to show you that. So we got daily bell ringers. We're going to put, let's see, I'm going to go to Google Drive. Actually, I don't have to go to Google Drive. Watch this. I forgot they added this in. So I'm going to go to my classes. I'm going to hover over that class, and I'm going to click on this folder right here. That folder takes it to where that Drive folder is that all those are created in. So I find that assignment, daily bell ringers. I can click here, and boom, my student, Hermione Granger, you would be able to see every single student for your entire class with their name dash the assignment name. And you can go in at any time. I go in and look at, okay, how's Hermione doing? Is she doing her assignments? I can look at her completion checklist, and then I can message her if I need to. That way she knows that I'm watching it. So there you go. So I can just scroll down and be like, okay, are they completing this? Checking it off. Okay. So that's what you do. That's it, guys.
All right, now it's time to hear from another one of my friends who is an extremely talented educator. Here's a presentation from Mary Fagley. She is talking about digital workbooks and text using Google Slides. So she's going to talk through her experience, how she's used them, how she's adapted them. And so please be active in the comments. Give her a big thank you if you find her on social media. I think that would be super, super cool of you if you so choose to do that. And let's go and learn with Mary. Take it away, Mary. That was not a great introduction. Let me do it again. Take it away, Mary. There we go. Not much better, but let's just let Mary talk. I'm gonna stop talking.
So I was telling Courtney that this kind of sort of came as one of those sort of accidents. This is not an original idea. I'm sure some of you have probably seen some of these, but this came to me because we did not order any kind of vocabulary workbooks this year as part of our textbooks. Well, then everything happened, went down, and I love doing vocabulary, and I'm an English teacher at the high school. So I was just kind of, and then everything kind of all came together. I'm part of PLC that is the So We Learn, and being in there with Nate Ridgway, who's kind of a guru for all this. He's one of the ditch guys. Anyway, so roundabout to tell that I sort of came up with using this. Now, I had practice. This is not gonna like me, is it? I had practice in messing with slide setups. So I guess this is kind of a basic thing, but the first thing that you want to think about is you're going to kind of think outside the box with going into your slide setup. And that's just under the page setup, which I'll show you. But you're going to make it more of an 8.5 by 11. You totally don't have to do that for primary. You could totally go the other way. And, you know, and I do have some examples of that, like my son's in first grade. I could see, you know, I do like the idea of replicating a book in some way. So, you know, you guys are different subject areas. I'm English, I've got social studies background. I also used to be a librarian here. So I can see, you know, all kinds of ideas. So I was like, well, okay, I still want to do this, but how can I do this digitally? And it wasn't even necessarily like because of like being green, which that's what I did the green to kind of remind me of. But if that is something, obviously we're trying to deal with less paper. I love me some paper. I love office supplies. I love everything about paper, but I knew that this year was going to have to be different. And I teach mostly seniors. So I kind of had, and I'm sure a lot of you did too, an inkling that we could be here and there and everywhere, and you know, maybe not having to depend on, you know, bringing workbooks back and forth would be something. So this is what I was looking for. So in designing a project, I wanted to have something obviously that was engaging, Creative, which I'll come back to that in a minute, because this has really scratched a creative itch for me that I'm really enjoying, like on my side. One of my seniors told me the other day that I didn't have to quite enjoy it so much that if I wanted to take a break, I could. In fact, I had him in class today. He's a big football player. I was like, oh, guess what I'm working on? Lesson 5. Also putting the words in context. So the examples I'm going to show you today are vocabulary. Obviously, that has far-reaching implications for a lot of subjects, but I'll also kind of jump outside. I've been saying jump outside the slide instead of the box, but jump outside that and, kind of give you some other ideas. Obviously, this would work for any subject where you would have a notebook, a journal, any of those. And I know those could be, far-reaching and as creative as I know you guys are. Okay, so I'm a professional stealer because I know that there are people out there that do things better than I do. That said, I'm also the type of person that likes to see all my choices in front of me and then change it for what works for me. So the 2 that I would give you, and I'm assuming we're going to share this out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be great.
So just to kind of save a little bit of time, but I will show you some of these, and you'll see their ideas incorporated into what I do. Slides Mania, if you've not heard of her, it's one lady. I don't know why she does this, but God bless her. She sends out, she's on Facebook, she's on Twitter, she has her own website, all free templates for you name it, as long as you credit her. She gets a little spicy if somebody takes her template and then tries to sell it on Teachers Pay Teachers or something, which of course she should. And then Matt Miller, and I should have brought his book. I didn't, but he is the Ditch That textbook guy. And really it was from he and Nate Ridgway that I first kind of used their template for the vocab book. And then I've kind of branched out from there. So I'll come back to them in a minute. Okay. So one of the things I love about this is I'm not artistic, but I am artsy. And so, like, for example, this is my house, actual house during the winter a couple years ago. So one of the things so why not docs, right? Why not a doc? Because of slides being more, I feel like, art and design based, you can bring in a lot more graphical things. And if one thing about our kids these days is that they are very visual, and we like, multicolors, we like patterns, no matter what age they are. And part of it was, even if I could have, so the vocab, what could I have done? I could have gone out on the internet and I looked, trust me, I looked to find a PDF of just some vocab workbook that I could pull off. But then when I saw this and what happens, you get that, combustion of ideas. And I was like, but I could do this my way and also maybe, just maybe, make it fun. Of course, you never know if they're going to think it's fun or not. But here's just some other stuff that I thought of, and this slide's probably in the wrong place, but bear with me. I was telling her, Courtney, I've never presented this before, so I it was like trying to, get all my thoughts down. And on, election night last night, I started already, but then I was like, okay, I got to really finish this up. So anyway, the point is just about anything that you can think of that's a book, or that you would be a product of a book that you could have a kid do, you can use this. Because, you can do anything. You can put pictures as backgrounds, science journal. What do you teach? So science. Okay. Lots of science today, not you. So, I'm just thinking of anything, any pictures, diagrams. I had actually, you're going to love me, one of my vocab lessons, they had to do a scientific experiment, like a little journal, where they were actually using the vocab words instead. So the list that I'm using, so I did not create my own list. That was one thing I was like, there's lists out there. So for my seniors, there is a product that comes through American Heritage Dictionary that's called 100 words every high school graduate needs to know. So that's what I based for my seniors on. So I had the words. So then it was just, how creative do I want to try to be? Okay. Now, then I was like, okay, what am I going to put on the slides? I don't want to just replicate what a vocab book would look like, or not that I haven't done this on occasion, but taken a screenshot of a page and just slap it on top of the slide. Okay, not saying I haven't done that, but I wanted to pull in a lot of these sort of cool, I'm always a sucker for like cool stuff. When, you see someone like Leslie Fisher or other people that are like into gadgety type things, like, something cool that you can do. And I've kind of sort of filed all those things away in my mind over the years and wanted to use them, have used them on occasion, but this gives me a chance to use them kind of all in one place. So you want to use Bitmojis. This is a great example to do that. One of the slides, I don't know if I have this one on here, but one of them is I call a deep dive, where they take a word and they take it through, obviously, its definition. They take it through its synonyms, antonyms, derivation, history. How do you use it? What's its connotation, the whole thing. And so, of course, I have this Bitmoji of me deep sea diving with my snorkel mask, and I think, don't discount using things like that draw their attention, because now all of a sudden, like, oh, that's, you wearing really weird big thumbs up things. I'll show you a second too. So thinking outside the slide for me also meant that I'm using this space out here, because when I do the workbooks, I don't have the kids do the workbooks in presentation mode. Okay, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Some of these are just some others, and honestly, like I said, you are completely limited by your own imagination as to what kinds of activities you would want to do. Screenshots of anything, backgrounds of anything. This does take, I think, a little bit of maybe more than the average knowledge of Google Slides, but it's not anything difficult. Maybe the one thing that I definitely learned from doing this is that sometimes you want to go ahead and lock your slide so that when they go to write on it, and our kids are using Cami, that they're not moving elements around. And there's a couple ways you can do that. Image annotation. So I've done this actually with pieces of art. I will go out and just Google a vocab word with the image search, and it might come up with like that word in context. And in doing this, like, they've discovered artists that they didn't know about, and geographical pictures, and editorial cartoons. An editorial cartoon last week. Hegemony was one of our words. All kinds of just different things visually. Caption this. So like, this is one that was an idea that I took from Nate. So this is like, find a picture and then use the vocabulary word. And then within Google Slides, when you go up to the object, it has like the bubbles. So you could do like the thought bubbles, the speech bubbles. You could even I'm toying with the idea of doing like an actual, like, framed up cartoon. I just haven't done that one yet. Shades of meaning, that's also from Nate. I love that one because what I do is I take an adjective, usually maybe a verb, and I put it on a sliding scale, like a Likert scale, but top to bottom. And I give them the word, and then they have to look it up in a thesaurus and find words that are like mean more in intensity or less in intensity. And I have little text boxes that I usually do shade a color, and they are able to slide. So that kind of speaks to another part where there is a sense of interactivity where they can pick up things and move things around. I like the big filled arrows. A lot of times I'll do that, and I'll write the name of the vocab word on the arrow, and then they slide the arrow. And usually I give them the arrow. Sometimes I even give them the arrow with the word typed in it. But I've always believed that the more you interact with vocab, the better you are. So a lot of times I make them go ahead and type it. Brainstorming. So you can go out with sticky notes. You can go out and get just, the Post-its that are, I don't mean go out and get like the store. I mean, go get a graphic of one. And you can then actually have them, same sort of thing. It's the same principle as if it's just a little text box, but it's a Post-it note. And they type on the Post-it note, and then they pick it up, and I'll show you what I did with that. And then, there's more. Well, like here's one right here. Duh, I forgot I did that. So that's one. And I mean, it's just a little detail, and obviously I made it long. I mean, I know they come in all sizes, but I made it long. But if it, in my mind, if it makes them pay attention because it's got a big thumbtack up at the top, and that looks cool. Or I'll show you in a second, like I use notebook paper, which of course is really ironic because I'm giving them notebook paper on top of a slide in a virtual, but I don't care. They don't notice. And then of course we can get into all kinds of multimedia. So one of the lessons, I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember, there's a song, it's called Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. It's an old song. 91 or something, or 2001, because a bunch of them were born right around then when we had it. And so our word of that week was evanescent. Now, sometimes I reach far, but that's okay. I love music. I'm into music. I'm a musician. So I pulled in that YouTube video, put the lyrics of the song, made sure it was okay, put the lyrics of the song, and then I had to analyze the song. And so now it's not only they're doing that, they remember what that word means, but they're also doing some poetry and, just kind of mixing it up. Okay. So, of course, if you're going to do a portfolio, this is an option of the speckle, because why not? And I stripped this one out. I'm not going to use any of the real students, but I've even told them they can put stickers so they can go out and they can decorate these. I mean, in principle, it's exactly the same. I do attach these in Google Classroom so they can turn them in, and and who wants to, do that anymore, especially with, trying to be no touch. I'm not saying it's still not a lot of work, but it is possible. Okay, so this is one of the first, I'm just going to keep it real. This was one of the first ones I did this year. And I'm going to tell you it's basic, okay? But we were reading this story from our textbook, and it had these five vocab words. And again, here's my, my hair's a little longer now, but, and it happened to be about the golden age of TV, which, that was perfect. And who doesn't have fun looking for just the right emoji? And so rather than, and I think I just sent this out as a worksheet. It wasn't actually, so you could do a single slide like this. And they just had to define it and then use it. You could do this as, any kind of a little, brainstorming activity, a bell ringer, whatever. So that's basic. I know it is. Try not to be impressed. Okay. This one actually, again, like I said, I've done screenshots onto a slide. So one of our words last week, I teach juniors too. It was one of the two, was inferences. And I found this, and it was perfect because they could read this paragraph. It was juniors, because I remember one of them asking me about it. So one of them, can't remember if it's this one, there's another one, but it was about this kid who was sitting there, and they made all these, like, there were whirring noises, there were nerves, all this stuff. Well, it turns out the kid was at the dentist getting braces, and they had to try to figure it out from the situation. But that was just because the word was inference. I kind of feel like I might know what an inference is now. I will tell you too, vocab quiz scores, I hoped, but they are through the roof. And I typically do, for at least for this, and again, this is my setting, but I typically do about 10 pages. But honestly, I'm having so much fun doing them. I did wanted posters a couple weeks ago. One of the words was gerrymander. And I just wait and see what the words are, and then just kind of go nuts with it. Okay. Last week we also had, this was a girl who's a junior, and the word was guru. And so you can see where I borrowed my own idea from the very first one I got that I did that kind of stunk. But here's another thing too. I used to love to make copies on colored paper because I swear it makes a difference. Now, maybe if it's that neon, Jasper Bright stuff, not so much always, but even to do. And so, like, don't leave your slides blank. You don't want to make them necessarily like too crazy busy. But, you know, and these are just, in fact, by the way, if you want to do a fake Instagram, which is another one that's on my list to do, this rounded square is really good to do that. You could actually do like a fake Instagram wall, you know, where they could put in their whatever pictures it would be. And I just gave them the starters. So it was, you know, I consider myself this. How did I learn how to do this? Some interesting facts about it, something people may not know, and if I was going to teach someone else. And I don't know, I think it's fun. It's fun for me to read them too. Okay, so here's some comics. And for the comics, okay, I've got more of it. So what I'll show you, but what I will wind up doing is this is where I will have those arrows or even those bursts out to the side, and they'll slide them to the right word. This is another, I think, let me put this in, here we go. Okay, I was gonna say, I'm showing this in Present, which is dumb because that's not what I do. Okay, so here they are. So then they would just, and this screen already doesn't like me, I've been informed, but they would just slide it. So they just slide it next to, and then they just see it this way. This is there we go. This is I made this myself, and I'll provide you the link, but this is, and you could just look up like fake Twitter. So what I did is I made up, this would be cool for scientists because I happen to have in this particular word, one I had Melville. This one I had, is it Archimedes? I think it's Archimedes. It's the like water displacement guy. This guy did something with chromosomal parts. Anyway, so what I did is I created, and these were the answers. So what they had to do for the answer was just do a hashtag and then use the vocab word. And they have the list, the very like second slide is the list of the vocab words. So this is just a fake Twitter. So like this one, I put the science, and you can do the verified check and everything. And you can name, you know, at whatever. Eureka, I got into my bathtub and figured out water displacement. So they then had to figure out what. Like last week, one of my words was hypotenuse, and I got Tony Bacon and Rick Jesh and Kyle Jones, and I did social studies, and I got you, and I got Tim, and they gave me some questions, and then I figured out how to. So that's kind of fun to involve. Although I will tell you, like some of the math, one of my kids said to me, "This is not math class. This is English. What is happening?" Like that was his comment. So that threw him. But that's a Twitter one, and I've loved that one for a while, and I never really knew how to integrate that. This is another one that I like. This is, and the link is on this one. This makes a little fake above the fold like headline. So the instruction was go to this site, create a newspaper clipping, and in that clipping, quickly use at least 2 vocab words from this week's lesson. And then when you're done, paste the clipping on the slide. So they go to the site, do it, and then it's just a copy paste. So it's like, you know, and I'm sure we've all gone to trainings where you're like, oh, that's really cool and fun, but like, how can I ever really integrate that? And for me, this has just been kind of after all this time, a fun way to put that together. This one's a pretty new one. These letter boards are popular. So this is a virtual letter board. And so what they had to do, now again, I reach sometimes, but the vocab word was epiphany. And they had to come up with 3 different epiphanies that they feel like they've had in the last, whatever I said, 5 years. These are seniors, so they're all thoughtful. And so anyway, so that's a separate site, and then they come back. And so those were his 3. Here's what I wound up doing with hegemony. So they had this political cartoon, and then they had to answer some inferences. And this was just a little format that I kind of stole from somewhere that I saw, but I like the containment of it. There's something about that I think that's really appealing. If you're like somebody that likes to use bullet points, I think kids really respond to that as well, and maybe it's a little bit less overwhelming. A similar vein on this, I was super proud of myself because I did this with the tree and I thought it was cool. I just cropped the tree and cut it in half, but I followed the shape. I'm an old yearbook girl, so for me, like I said, kind of that creativity. I can't draw, but kind of, that layout was kind of fun. And that word was equinox. And it just so happened that the equinox was that week. It's weird how that worked out. A couple more. Here's that shades of meaning that I was talking about earlier. So all they have to do is look up fatuous, and then this is not going to be my friend. Okay. And then say they type something on it, and okay, well, that is less. So there, I'm going to slide it on that scale. And I mean, that's really simple, but they seem to like that and do pretty well on it. Just a couple more. So this one is all about word derivations. There's those fat arrows that I was talking about. Well, it slides. So you type the word and then slide it to the one, and I don't ever care which side it is. And then last week, I think this was a juniors, I did not embed these. I think I couldn't embed them. That was the problem. I don't know if you guys have never gone to the Presidential Library in Springfield for Lincoln. It's totally worth it. But I love the idea of holograms, and a lot of people are coming out with holograms, dead famous people in their holograms. But these were just 2 videos. So obviously you can link to anything. And then I asked him kind of ethically, like, what did you think about that? Like, is it cool to have like standing next to President Lincoln? And then here's that Evanescence video that I was talking about. There we go. So, it's not beautiful. I didn't spend a lot of time on the slide to like make it super pretty, but so after that, and I just extrapolated from different ones to put in here. But so the next slide then was the lyrics, and then they had some questions. So I'll spend like 3 slides on that one word. Just a couple more. This is kind of off of that. Believe it or not, with these vocab words, I can find those vocab words used in famous quotes by other people. So I'll just go out and Google and find those. And then again, they're just writing them in, and, I find stupid versions of myself. 1 week so this kind of goes more to you, Ashton, I guess. One of the words was euro. So I was like, yes. So, I mean, for me, that's like a lot. That brings a lot of ideas, of what. So, I don't know the odds of have any of them seen a euro. Have they held a euro? Do they know what it is? So again, shades of that very first one I did with the individual boxes. Instead, I brought in some graphics. They had to answer these questions. Again, using this, there's no rule that says you can't go out in the margins if you're going to just do it in, the slide sorter view. And then I went ahead and embedded the little video right there, which they can watch. And I mean, I would never do more than like a 2 or 3 minute little clip. I mean, I'm not asking them to watch a history of the euro or whatever. And then this is my favorite because I'm a big dork and I think this is cool. I always loved when I was a kid that my mom would put stuff on the refrigerator. So I went out and I figured out and found an old time refrigerator that looked like my grandma's. And I had to flip it because, of course, when I found it, it was the other way. So what they do, and they have to do this is part of the assignment, whether it's a mnemonic device, just a shortened definition, whatever, but then they write on that and then they slide it over and then it goes, how do I get out of there? I went out. There. And then it goes and they'll have them plastered all over the fridge. And yes, it is hot pink because it's my fridge. And then the only thing left that I had were just some other, just ideas. Obviously, I have seen full, and I've got links for you here. And I did put some graph paper in the back because that's another option. Not a math person, but that's another option. You can put any kind of background for equations or whatever you would want to graph. But all the links that I mentioned are here. Ashton, you might enjoy this one, and I think this one came off of Nate's. He actually did a whole book. I mean, I could see student authoring. This could take student authoring, and you can in any of these. I'm not sure why you would want to, at least not print, but you can take these and download them as PDFs. So if now with mine, it's instructional, particularly because I have all that stuff in the margins, maybe not so much. But you wouldn't have to do that. And it really kind of turns the whole, having a kid write a book, that sort of thing. I mean, it sort of turns it on its ear. And you've got, and you have all that graphic power behind it. I mean, that's what's so much better about it in general than with docs, because it just comes, imbued with all of that graphic goodness behind it. And then last but not least is I gave you a blank piece of paper because that's where we all start, right? So, and this is actually how I have my senior journal that we're using as like a senior portfolio for this year.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks. Questions? Anything I know it's hard because we're such different subjects, but I think especially too, and I don't know if it's just because of, COVID and everything, but this has been, I don't want to say therapeutic. That sounds overly dramatic. In a way, kind of. I really have enjoyed this creative, and when I can see what words I'm going to use for the next week. And obviously you could, pick what your chapter vocab or whatever, or completely take it off in a different direction. These have, so there's and I think this right here, this link in the middle, ditch that textbook, 20 activities to fill them is how it ends. That's where I started as far as activities, because anybody can do a blank slide and then you're like, what do I put on that thing? So that at least gave me a start, and then I kind of jumped off from there. One of my senior boys, big old football player, the other day said, how long do those take you to make? And I was like, well, 2-3 days, 4 days. He's like, you need to take a little bit less time. You don't need to take so much time doing those. So if I can ever help, if you have an idea and you just want to shoot it around with somebody and, let me know. I'm not an expert, but and here's the horizontal, by the way. So like if you ever wanted to do, it's almost like the Shutterfly kind of thing, making your book, a book for your child. If you ever wanted to tell a story, I mean, this, I think it does give me a preview. Yeah. So at least you can see like that, and it does that, out that way. So.
And how often do you grade these? Since it is weekly vocab, do you grade it week by week?
Okay, so I do them every other week, and they don't complain. Just because there's the sheer volume of them coming in, and sometimes I'll be selective in what slides I'm really looking at, and then, but like I said, I mean, in the God that their scores are fantastic.
So after they do a part of the digital notebook, then do they have a vocab quiz?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's pretty traditional, although I'll figure out how to turn that on in 2 or 2 probably. But, I feel, I'm having fun. It's not what it's all about, right? So, yeah. And hopefully they are. I think that they are, and, we'll just see. And it's certainly been a way to not collect in, well, I think I started out with 136 students this year. Of course, I'm not that many now, but that would have been a lot. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't honestly know. I think it was more of a rote thing. I don't really know that they were, I love notebooks. I love those workbooks, but I I don't think maybe a lot of them are really learning a lot, And the cool thing about, using the terms that I am is that so many of them are academic vocabulary for other classes, which is why last week, I think I reached out, we had what, impeach
And gerrymandering.
and gerrymandering, and I was like, ugh, let's see what, and I just love to throw my kids off guard too. So when the other teachers stepped in, and then Mr. Jones being our principal now, and he was a math teacher here, so I was like, hey, can you give me a hypotenuse problem? He did. So, well, thank you.
What's
Thanks for
your
having me.
fastest trick for getting it into the master? What is the route you take? Because there's different ways you can lock it, or you can, because you create this wonderful thing, and then you don't want them to sit there and play with all this.
Fastest. It's fast and dirty, if that's okay, is to do a screenshot of the slide prior to whatever it is they're going to write on.
Okay.
That's the fastest. You could always do a basic layout template that you save for yourself and then recreate, add into. I don't know. Everybody kind of has their own methodology. I kind of tend to just take the last one I did and make a copy off of that and then just switch it around. Because I'm doing two, because I have juniors too. I just didn't, I did a couple of slides of the juniors, but yeah, the screenshot.
Because I know there's
It's not
different
pretty.
ways, and everyone has their own way. And I'm just wondering what we
Yeah,
do.
that's in fact this last slide is actually a screenshot. So that start here is not really there. So then what you would have to do, see, it will automatically throw that text box up on top of that. And the only ones I've ever had problems with as far as the elements locked or not locked are when they're sliding the arrows. I probably should have mentioned that. So one of the things I do, I can't not do that because that's the point of them doing it, but I will go in and click on it and do an order. So you want to click on, so say it's one of those arrows. If I don't do the order and like bring it to front, then what happens is it slides behind the slide. And so, and those were a couple, I made some rookie mistakes doing that. So now, and I too think, you want to make sure as best as you can before you, because I do the share out where everybody gets their own copy. So just make sure it's what you want it to be. I mean, it's not like you can't change it, but I try to get it exactly what I want it to be before I send it out. But yeah.
Do you
As-
go ahead. Keep adding to your slides underneath, or do you create new
No, I
slides
do new.
every week when you do your vocab?
Like I said, I make a copy because I feel like that way I'm still recording this. Like I'm cheating off myself.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? I'm like plagiarizing off myself to get the format because like the first page. I don't think I have this up. Okay, but like I didn't show all this, but like this is so like this is an actual kids, but like say this was my vocab and every week I wanted this page on it that has the due dates and some just prompt ideas. So I could either go from scratch, copy that one slide, bring it in, or I copy the whole thing and then just X out what I don't want and add as I go. To me, it's like, this is a mental thing, I guess, but it's not as overwhelming to me, even if it's my own work. If I'm like, well, if I run out of ideas and I have to just kind of do a remix on something I did last week, then that's okay. They won't, or I can just mix it up or change the background or put in a, picture off the school website that came up or, and they won't know the difference. I mean, really, they haven't been like, you've used that one thing like several times now. And then if I'm somewhere and I see something that's, a good idea or something that I could, I was on Twitter yesterday. This doesn't really appeal to this, but I did it in classroom where somebody said, just to try to, bring some levity to everything going on. If you could only watch one movie for the rest of your life over and over again, what would it be? Well, I was like, throw that up on Google Classroom as a question. And, I think we're all like that. We're all looking for things. And I think doing something like this gives you kind of a vehicle to maybe do some of the creative things and put them in there that maybe, and because you're not constrained by paper, you can do multimedia, you can do, really about anything. The only thing I haven't really done is, put maybe part of the lesson in their hands, which is something that I want to do, or, they maybe design something. So that's kind of, I'm learning as I go, but having fun with it.
What up? Welcome back. Hey, Tyler here. How are you doing? How are you feeling? In the chat, let's do emoji check. And how are you feeling right now? Have you learned? Oh, no. To this point, what is something that you are going to try in your classroom or implement that you might not have wanted to, an hour or two ago? What is something you're wanting to implement in your classroom? Put that in the chat right now. I'd love to see it. I know the other people in the chat would love to see it. I know it'd be some great input. So throw that in the chat and then you can also copy paste and put in your notes, just so you don't forget. Make sure everything you're doing, you're keeping notes of. Keep links to it, all of it, because I want you guys to be able to access and actually make your classroom better. I've sat through enough PDs in my life, professional development in my life, that I don't remember one thing from. I pray that you walk through this. I am hoping that you get something out of this training that you can take and use, once a day, once a week, once a year, once a decade, something that you use and implement, whether it's a mindset or a skill set or just any type of framework to build your classroom and make things better. Okay? Speaking of making things better, making ourselves better, I do want to give you, some thoughts on something that I offer, a community that we have at Tarver Academy that I think could add you a ton of value. It could help you get better all year. Because right now we're getting better with PD, with professional development. Hopefully you're getting better right now. This summer you're gonna hopefully glean some information, some knowledge, some experience, and you're gonna get a little bit better. I want us to get better all year. I want us to get better all throughout the year. And here's the thing with teachers. We do not have time to go sit through a 6-hour professional development once a week. So what I did was I created a community called Tarver Academy. And it was based on teachers telling me they wanted resources. They wanted a continuation of these trainings, of templates, of resources. They wanted to be handed to them, because if you go out and search for it, you're gonna find random stuff. They wanted stuff that could be applied to their classroom, that they can sit there, bite-sized professional development for busy teachers. That's Tarver Academy, Honor Roll. And I would love for you to join if you want to. If you don't have to, don't pay for it. It's not very expensive at all, but I don't want you to have to pay for it. I would rather you use your district's professional development money. So if you want, have them go in, order that for you. Hey, here's the deal. Okay, let me be real with you. So you are signed up for the premium summer PD. Okay, either you signed up for it yourself, your principal, your administrator signed you up for it, or your district or your co-op. There were some amazing co-ops, districts that jumped in and realized that this could add value and flexibility, because they're offering 3 different sessions throughout the summer. You have flexibility to watch from home, or maybe you're watching with a group, maybe you're watching in your classroom, wherever you're watching from. They wanted you to add that value, and I wanted to give you a huge discount on the Tarver Academy Honor Roll. This is just for this summer, and it's just for the people that are on the premium watches, okay? And so the premium watches, the premium PD, okay? And so if you're watching this, you're here, you're on it, okay? So what you can do is you can sign up at tarveracademy.com/honor roll, and I want you to use this promo code. When you sign up, use this promo code. It's gonna cut in half. And it's one time for the full year, and it's gonna cut in half. Remember, use your district money if you can. So just write the promo code down, or put it in there and then get reimbursed, whatever you need to do. The promo code is premium, because you've signed up for the premium summer PD, and so I want to give you half off. So what that is essentially, you or your district or your co-op or your building paid for the summer PD, and so what it is, you get half off for these honor roll resources that come to you every week for the entire year. They essentially, it paid for more than, it paid for half of this just because they signed you up for it, or you signed up for it. So it's actually a better deal than if you just straight up bought it. But you'll get access to these trainings anytime you want throughout the entire year, plus anything new. I'm gonna send you something every single week to help make you better in your classroom, because when you get better, your students get better. In the email every week, you're gonna get either a template a resource. You're gonna get a short PD video, professional development, a training to show you how to do something you might not know how to do, or reinforce something you're maybe already trying. You're gonna get something that makes you better every week, plus some quick tips, links to some other things, and also you can ask me questions. I have a mailbag where you get to ask questions, and that's the list I'm gonna pick from first. I wanna help you guys. If I don't know how to do it, I'll do the research for you. I'll build, you're like, oh, I really wish I had a digital interactive notebook. Guess what I'll do? I'll go in and I'll build digital interactive notebooks, and I'll give you the template. You don't have to pay teachers, pay teachers. You don't have to go in and throw the money at anything. I wanna just hand it to you, and I wanna do trainings for you to help you. So if you wanna join that community, I think it's super helpful, and it's essentially where I become the tech facilitator for you. It's Netflix for teacher resources, and I would love for you to join and jump on that. So if you want, go there. It's tarveracademy.com/honor-roll, and you can sign up for that. And I think it's just going to be a huge. It's going to be a huge help to teachers throughout the year who have a lot going on and not a lot of time, extra time to go out and do it. It's like as teachers, they always give you more stuff to do, but they don't give you like, oh, here's like an extra 3 hours a day to go out and do whatever it is you're gonna do. So if you wanna sign up for that, you can. I hope you've used this time also to use the restroom. So if you're just getting back using the restroom, guess what? We've just been talking about Tarver Academy Honor Roll. No big deal. But I wanna give you guys time to go do that and get a snack if you need it. Whatever you need to do, we're about to kick back into, we're about to jump back in it. We're gonna fall back into the gap, fall into the gap. Man, do y'all remember that? That was a good campaign. That was memorable. Wasn't it? Memorable? Yeah, sure. Okay, so we're about to get started. We'll get started here very soon, and we're gonna jump back in, we're gonna keep learning. All right, let's do it. Let's go. We're still doing this. In the chat, here we go. In the chat, I want you to tell me the name. Okay, don't say that. I was gonna say, tell me the name of, you know what? You can do that. Tell me the name of a teacher who made an impact on you and what they did. Why did they have an impact on you? In the chat, what name of a teacher or an educator that had an impact on you and what they did to have an impact. It was either the way they treated you, the way they ran their class, or the way they inspired you, or just the way they had structure maybe. They were reliable, they were consistent. I would love to hear in the chat, name of a teacher that motivated you as a student or as another teacher and what they did. So let's throw that in the chat, and we're about to get started. We're gonna jump back into it. We're about to get started. We're gonna jump back into it like a pogo stick. See that? See what I did there? Nope? Okay, all right, let's get going. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are on the last portion. And what we're gonna do here is we're going to build together. So open up another tab while you're listening to this, or pull this up on your phone or your tablet or whatever. Split your screen if you know how to do that, and watch and then create with me. It's a create with me session. You can make this from scratch as I make it, or you can go in and make a duplicate of mine and adjust it as we walk through it, depending on your own pace and skill set. We're actually creating a daily student reflection journal, and our goal with these is to make students every day start their day by thinking, like talking about how they feel for the day, which is super important because we need to gauge how they feel in case we need to address something. Then we want the students to go in and say 3 things they're thankful for, because research indicates that is super helpful for adults and children alike to notice and reflect on what you're thankful for every day. Then we want to talk about what stuck with them from the previous day's learning and what they hope to accomplish today. So past, present, and future is what we're hitting with this notebook, and hope you guys create with me and you make something you'll actually use in your class that can help you be a better teacher and help your students get better every day. Here we go. The goal today is I want to make a daily student reflection journal. So I want something that's teachers, like I always want to think through, like, what would a teacher use this for? When would they use it? Why would they use it? And my thought would be that they have their students start their day by filling in the boxes. They want to fill this in. Now, is it something that they're going to need grades on? Like, do I need to make it daily, weekly? How do I want to do it? I like to think that most teachers probably wouldn't do this frequently. And what I have noticed is a lot of teachers with regards to resources, they want the timeline for stuff like this to be 9 weeks, because with Google Classroom, they close out their class after 9 weeks so that the grades are accurate and updated. I'm sure Google's going to update that soon, but until then, they're archiving and redoing new classes every 9 weeks. So my thought would be to make a 9-week student reflection journal, daily reflection journal that they can fill out as they go. So
I could start from scratch. I've done that on some resources. It takes forever. And so what I'm actually going to recommend to you guys is find resources either from yourself or from other people and duplicate them and then edit them. So much quicker, so much easier. It takes out a lot of that, like that upscale, like the stuff you're trying to do right off the bat and ramp up to. I like to picture it. It's like snowboarding. Oh, thanks, kid. Appreciate it, son. Bananas in it. Oh, I love bananas. It's like snowboarding. It's like really hard to start, but once you get the hang of it, you can do really cool stuff. It's like jumping in the middle where you can just like, okay, I'll make a copy and then I'll do cool stuff. So I'm going to do that. If you want to use my resources as like a launch point and then start adjusting them, you can. And I'm going to show you where I would go to get that. So here we go. So on my website, tarveracademy.com, you're going to go to resources, and then I want to go to templates and resources. So once you click on that, it's going to pull up all of my templates and resources. So I'm trying to think, what is the closest thing to what I'm doing here that I could do for students? And I think it's probably I would say my lesson plans. And so we want to go, we'll go weekly, and then I can just copy paste and make the new weeks. So I would click here. It would ask me to make a copy, and then I would make a copy of that. Okay, so I'm not editing my main template. I'm editing this version of it. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and adjust this, and I'm going to change the title. So I want to make sure that, let's see, it's loading up. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to title this Daily Student Reflection Journal. Now, keep in mind, I pulled from this one to start with, but you can always go and pull from different things that you've done, so you don't have to start from scratch. Like some pages, I'm going to grab that one page here, toss it over, do this here, toss it over. So this is kind of like my intro page that I always have. So I'll probably read that before I send it, but yours is going to be different. I don't want to waste your time. So Daily Student Reflection Journal. Sorry, there we go. We're going to move this over so that fits. Okay, sweet. All right, here we go. We can see, let's think through. I like to think through every step of this process as I'm doing it. This is which teacher for which course. I wouldn't say week number. That's probably going to need to change. So what I'm going to do is I need to change that and see how I can't click it or anything. It's because I've got that on the master. So I'm going to go to view, and I'm going to go to master. Oh, you need to see this larger. I'm so sorry, everybody. There you go. Is that better? Hope you haven't left. If you have, well, I mean, if you heard that, you haven't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust this, and I want to say, because we're doing about 9 weeks. So what we might do is just delete that. I don't think that actually serves as much of a purpose as I did originally when I made it. And then I'm going to move this stuff up. Okay. So this will be dates. And that way the students or teachers, based on what they want, can write in all that. Okay. So I'm going to click back out of it. All I got to do is click over here to the left, and that's going to bring me out of my master. And there we go. So teacher, what course it is, dates, and they can say first 9 weeks. They could say the actual dates. They say weeks 1 through 9, whatever they want on that. And then they can add a quote. Navigation, I have this to where it jumps to that like week. I don't think we need to do that. So I'm going to click, might have been good to do the semester one. That way it navigates weeks 1 through 9. It's okay. That way I can show you how to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to add the other navigation, which is, let's see, here we go. Weeks 1 through 9. Awesome. Okay. So this will be navigation, and then I'm going to edit that master slide. So view master, and then I'm going to edit this. Okay, I'm going to take weeks 1 through 9 is already there. Take that, select those, delete. Then I'm going to select all these. And just to make it look prettier, I'm going to stretch them out to like right here. Let's see if that works. Boom, navigation. Navigation, no breathing. That's from an old song. Okay, don't listen to it. It's not very good. Okay, so now I've got the navigation, but then I'm going to have to go in and attach the link so it actually navigates where I want to go. This is my Google Help video. I always toss this in on the slides. It doesn't hurt anything. It's just a resource for them. Week number, and I can just say week 1 Okay, it's got a spot here where before you assign it, you can add stuff. I don't think we're going to do week at a glance because we want to serve the purpose of this is for students that are, oh no, I think I made this lesson plan in Canva. Almost pot. Let's see if I did. View, master. Oh no, I did it in here. Sweet. Okay, we're good. Okay, I think I got the idea from Canva. So what we'll do is we're going to change this to daily reflection. We're going to make that a little smaller. That's it. You're pretty much just going through and adjusting all this. So you have the date there. We don't want unit. I thought through some stuff beforehand, and you can change yours. And now if you make a copy of mine, you can go in and change those like this. Like you can change it. So let's go in. I have it set to where I want this to be yesterday learning. So what did you learn yesterday? How about this? What was your favorite thing you learned yesterday? It's a way for them to reflect on what they did the previous day, but I need to adjust that. Okay, we're going to do this. And then I'm trying to think through where I want everything. So I want this to be over here because I'm going to move it up to the top. And then I want, okay, so I've got, let's see, I'm going to do, how do you feel? So I want to do emojis. And then I want to do, what are you thankful for? And I want to list 3 things they're thankful for. What was your favorite thing you learned yesterday? And what do you hope to accomplish today? So that means I'm going to have, let's just do this. Let's just do the thing. Okay. So I'm going to take this, move some text over here, and then I'm about to delete some stuff. Okay. So it's okay to delete stuff because, this is your copy. You do whatever you want. Delete that, make myself some room. This is going to be one of my bottom 2 sections. I'm going to put that there, and then I need to turn this. If you hold shift and then turn it, it should keep it to where it's not like it sticks like this instead of like you can go anywhere. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it makes sense to me. Okay, here we go. Now we're cooking. Sorry, it took me a second to kind of figure out how I want to do this. I'm going to keep that logo there because, I'll let your boy. And so, sorry, it's the logo for my book, the Baller Teacher book. Check it out. It's probably, it hasn't dropped yet, but if you're on the email list, I'll let you know when it drops. Okay, so we're moving that there. Okay, so I've got the text over the box. That's exactly what I want. And then I've got, what is your favorite thing you learned yesterday? I know that I said I wanted that question to come first, but I'm going to show you exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, what's your favorite thing you learned yesterday? Let's see, is that the size I want? No, I don't want favorite capitalized. Okay, we're going to increase the size there. Oh, too much, too far. Mayday, mayday. Okay, so we're going to take that. We're going to move this. It's okay that it overlaps because remember, like these right here, this is where they can go in and fill in stuff, and they can't on the other ones. Actually, I'm going to add a text box. So I'm going to delete this. And then I'm going to add a text box. Click this, and I want it to be we'll do subtitle placeholder. And then we're going to put it right there. And then we want to adjust the default. I'm going to make that bold because it's just easier to see. And then I'm going to change the color of it to this. Okay, there we go. Favorite thing you learned yesterday. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I've got that section, so I want to create another section. So I'm just going to highlight all of it, hold Option, click, and drag it up. What that does is that makes a duplicate of whatever that was. Okay, so sick, we did it. Okay, all right, so I want this to be excellent. So that's actually what I want there. I think I'm going to make this left align. So I'm going to align that to the left. If I go too fast, remember you can pause, rewind, do whatever you want. I'm going to align this one to the left as well. Okay, and we need to change this one. Favorite thing you learned yesterday. And then this is, what do you hope to accomplish today? Okay. And again, if you don't like these questions, I've shown you this so that you can go in and adjust them later and make it the question you want. Okay. So we got that. Now let's go and we're going to drag this stuff back over. Okay. I don't want any of this. I'm trying to think if I need anything to put there. I don't. So I'm going to delete that. And then I'm going to take, say I want to do top 3 from yesterday. So we're going to do top 3 things we loved. We're going to take this. We're going to move it here. I think I have a better option here. Watch this. Okay, so I've got something that I've done. Let's see if I've got it in here. Because I've done this. Yeah, here it is. Here we go. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy. And then I'm going to go back. You can copy across master slides. Keep that in mind. So I'm going to click here. And I'm going to toss that there. And I'm going to toss these in here. There we go. And this is what I call the thankful section. Oh man, I should have gotten the boxes. Oh no, wait, we don't want boxes. We just want to move this. Top 3, and we'll do numbers. There we go. Okay. Figuring it out. Sorry. Now I don't want this to be long because I want them to just make it short and sweet. Like, what are you thankful for? And I have read so many leadership books and productivity books and just how to be happier, mental health books. And they talk so often about how important it is for people to reflect on what they're thankful for. Having a daily gratitude journal or a way to express gratitude every day, it changes your mindset and the things that happen to you. So I highly recommend it. So list 3 things you're thankful for today. Let's say today so that they don't just write the same 3 things every day. There we go. List 3 things you're thankful for today. Okay. And then I'm going to put some numbers in here. Is that cool with you guys? Everybody cool with that? We're going to go text box. We're going to put here. I'm going to go 1. Bodie. Voldy's gone moldy. That's from Harry Potter. I talk about Harry Potter too much. Sorry, everybody. Don't get hurt. We're good. Okay. So I'm going to go there. Okay, great. So I'm going to take this and then I'm going to move it up to match it. Oop, did that match it? There we go. I don't know if I'm doing anything. I don't think I am. So are we moving? Okay. We're clicking. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's change the color of this because we're staying with this like navy red thing. So I'll make, since the text is blue there, we're gonna make the text red here. Okay, and I'm doing that on the first one because I'm just gonna duplicate it for the other ones. So watch this. Hold Option, click and drag. Copy paste is your best friend. Here we go. Here we go. Is that a song? I feel like it is. In the comments, let me know what song it is. Or don't. It's okay. Okay. So there we go. We got that. Oh, they're a little off. Ugh. That's the only thing about slides is you can't like zoom in unless there's something I don't know about to see, like make it move just a little bit. Just a little bit. Here we go. Here we go. We're moving. Okay. Okay. I think that's good. I think we're lined up. Okay. 3 things you're thankful for today. And then the last thing I want to add in, how do you feel? So let's say, let's do a how do you feel today? So I'm going to make a copy option. Oh, and copy option. Okay. How are you feeling today? Okay. And then I'm going to change this around. We're going to make this box. No, it's going to do red. There's a lot of red at the top, so we'll keep it as is. Sorry. Okay. How are you feeling today? And then we want, should we do left align here? Probably should, since we did everywhere else. So there, make sure I did it here. Is that cool? Y'all cool with that? I think that looks okay. I like that left align. Okay, So now what I'm thinking to do is I think I'm going to add some emojis in this. And I think the easiest way to do the emojis would be if we click over here, I'm going to go to some of my other templates that I've got. So let's go to templates. I think I've got under slides templates, and it's my, I'll say digital notebook. We'll open that up. Okay. In my digital interactive notebook, is that it? Is that the one I have? I've got one where I've already got some emojis, but if not, you can just go to you can just Google emojis and hit copy and then paste them in there. It's like you paste them as text, and then you can have students, whatever they need to do. Okay. I'm trying to think, should we put like a circle off to the side? That way they can drag the circle on top of whatever they want. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. I don't think it's under this one. I'm going to check because we're this far into it, but yep, I was wrong. It's not this. It is, what resource was it that I did that? To-do list, weekly lesson plan, not it. Digital notebook, intro slides, lesson plans. To-do list, maybe? What was it? Was it digital intro notebook? What was it? I'm sorry. Let's see. Daily to-do. Maybe it was. I'm sorry. Maybe it was. Maybe I just gave up too soon. What was it that I did that for? We might have just go find the emojis and put them in. It was something where you put like a scale. No, it's my bell ringers. That's what it was. My bell ringer template. Okay, we're going to it. I got it. Resources. And it's probably under bell ringers. Is it on checklist? Cheat sheets, forms, honor roll, presentations, bell ringers. It's got to be under here. Templates. Where is it? Well, let's just go to Tarver Academy. Can't go wrong with Tarver Academy. That's resources. That's resources. Man, I got to put that in that resources folder. Easier to find. Where are you at, T? Where? Oh, I know why. Because no, is that why? Is it because I said horizontal? I need vertical? No, that's not it. Template slides. I'm sorry. I'm really shook. Templates on docs. Slides. No. It's okay. We'll go here and we'll make it and we'll find it. Okay. So bell ringer. Where you at, little buddy? Did somebody scrub my bell ringer work? Quote of the day template. I don't even know how to talk. There we go. So we'll do weekly. We're going to make a copy. So is it under quote of the day? Full semester, we want just a weekly one. It's going to be less. The reason I'm doing weekly instead of semester is because it has got less. The file size is smaller, so it's easier to load up on my computer, which is running my camera. Maybe let's look our quote of the day, see if I did it correct here. Nope, I'm going to have to add that in there. So sorry. Please forgive. Please forgive me. Okay. Okie dokie, load up. Here we go. So we'll take these and we're going to copy, and then we're just going to paste them over into this one. Like I said, don't think that you cannot go across slides and put those in there. And so we're going to go ahead and post these, and we're going to do this. And then, do we want people to say they feel like trash? I mean, yeah, I think a teacher should know that. Like a teacher, I mean, don't try to, I think one of the problems is, like, I'm a pretty positive person anyways. Like, I stay pretty positive, but I don't think that we should constantly like think that we have to be only positive, because sometimes people are feeling down, and it's good for a teacher to know that so that they can help them. Okay, so let's think this through. So if everything's right, they should be able to fill it in right here. We need to make a circle that they can drag over the top. They should be able to fill in here and fill in here. So let's click off of the master slide. Okay. Here we go. All right, so I had these to where I had like the date on top of it, which we don't need that. Oh man, come on. What am I doing? I gotta have to move this box to move this. Delete that. That way we just have the date in there. They can fill in their date. Okay, so are they gonna be able to write in there? Yes. Are they gonna be able to write in there? Yes. Okay, they can't grab any of these emojis. They can write up here. Everything looks good. Okay, last thing we need is to put a circle on here. Is that daily reflection? I'm sorry, this bothers me. Daily reflection's up a little bit, date's down. I'm so sorry. We're gonna go to view, we're gonna go to master, and we're gonna move this down just a little bit. I'm so sorry, everybody. Bugging me. Bugging me. Okay, looks like it's good. I think we're good. That's good enough. At least it's centered. Okay. All right, so we have week 1. We don't need this. Big wins from the week. You could do that. Should we keep that on there? I mean, I'll leave it on there, and then people can take it off if they want. We need to put it at the end, though. So this will go up here. I'm going to delete the rest of these because I don't want to have to readjust those. And then let's do end of week reflections. That's not bad. We can keep that in there. Big wins from the week, end of week reflections. Okay, we'll keep those 2 on there. Okay, and so we need to add the circle. And let's do here, shapes, and we'll do a circle right here. And then we need to go and make it transparent in the middle. And we want to do circle this. And we need to make it a thicker line. So we're going to go here and probably put like 4. That's pretty good. Let's see. Does that look like a circle? Okay. And then they can just drag it over how they feel. How's that? That's pretty cool, right? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna give a little bit of instructions off to the side. So I'm thinking we create a box. We'll just do this. And then we'll say inside of it, we'll say drag the circle over the emoji of how you feel today. Don't forget. Should we say something like, don't forget, let your teacher know if there's anything they can do to make you feel better? I don't know. Maybe that's not appropriate. If you want to add that, you can. I just don't think I'm going to make that call for everybody on the template. Okay, we'll do that. I'm actually going to move it up here. Nope, here. There we go. Here we go. Okay, so I always like to give instructions. It's one of the things I love about doing this vertical one is that you can give instructions off to the side, and I think that is super dope. So let's change the font to what we like. We like this Montserrat. I don't know how to say it. Make it bold so it's easier to see. We'll make the square look on brand. Make it this red. We'll make the text this navy, which we did, and then we'll make the outside border a little bit thicker. There we go. And then let's put an arrow in there. How's that? Is that cool with everybody? Go to shapes, arrows, this one. Okay. And then we'll do this. Okay. Just doing a little nitpicky right here. And we're going to change this, make it our color scheme. We're going to leave the gray on there. There we go. Sorry, it's bothering me a little bit. Let's go up, make the arrow correct, and then we can adjust everything else. Drag the circle of the emoji of how you feel today. Okay. All right, so we got 1 day. We need to do 5, and then we're going to make our navigation for the weeks. Okay. So remember, option, hold option, click, drag, boom. I could also just do like, I'm on a Mac, so it's Command C. For a Windows or a Chromebook, it's Control C. So Command C, Command V. Okay, so that's week 1. So now what we're going to do is we need to make 9 weeks of it. So I'm going to select the top one. I'm going to roll down, and I want to include my end of week stuff. And then I'm going to hold shift, click, and that's when you click, let go, and then you hold shift and you click the bottom. It selects everything in between. Now I'm going to copy. And so now I want to place right here on the last one, hit paste. So that's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 9 weeks. Now, they could always go in and delete that. Maybe we shouldn't do this. I think we're going to do weekly instead of 9 weeks. I'm trying to think, because you would probably want to give a grade on it every week or check it. You know what? Let's do 9 weeks. And if you want, they can delete it down. That's what we're going to do. That way, you can always give them more. They can always cut it down. Okay. So there's week 1. We need to scroll down and get, sometimes I like to change the view. So I'll go to view and then go to, well, then I can't edit the number. So we're going to go in here. We're going to make this week 2. Okay. Let's scroll down and get week 3. Week 3. So once you get it's like you start small and you build out, and then you can do a lot more, a lot quicker. And so that's nice. Week 3. Here's week 4. And we're going to roll down to week 5. And then we're going to go 6. This is nice because I did do 18 weeks. Oh my goodness. That bell ringer resource took forever because I had to like create content inside it. And every single day I had to change to a different video. What I do is at 6, so that's 7. Is that right? Make sure. Nope, this is 8. Why didn't y'all say anything? Just kidding. You're watching the video after the fact. It's not your fault. This is on me. Okay, and this will be week 9. Okay. Boom. Okay, so we got 9 weeks. Now the last thing we got to do is we got to build out a navigation bar. Oh wait, I got an extra week in here. Did I miss one? Let's see. Now I'm going to go to view, and I'm going to go to grid view. That way I can see it all at once a little easier. So here we go. So week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6. I skipped 6. That's on me. That's on me. View back to take off grid view. We left out week 6 and watch how I'm gonna put it in there. We got week 6. I'm gonna take week 6. I'm gonna highlight it all. I'm gonna copy. I'm gonna delete. And then I'm gonna move up to where I missed it. That's 5. So week 6 should go right here. Hit paste. Make sure we didn't overlap the wrong page. So we're good. Boom, 6 is in there. So we're rolling. Here we go. Week 7, 8, 9. Here we go. And then I got my little hello at the end. So we're going to change that to daily reflection journal. Bye, Tyler Tarver. I did that. Bye, Tyler Tarver. Okay. So there you go. Okay. I think that's pretty much it. Let's see. I think we've got everything we need. Oh, no, navigation, guys. Y'all gonna let me go without navigation. So here's how I do the navigation stuff. You want them to be able to click on this and then jump to that week. Here's what I would do. I create a box. So we're gonna do a shape and we're gonna do a box. And then we're gonna go right over the top of this. Okay. And then, so I'm over the top of it. And then I want to make it fully transparent. So transparent outside, transparent border. So it's like essentially an invisible box. Now, what I can do is I can right click, or I can actually hit Control K if you're on a PC or Chromebook, Command K if you're on a Mac. You can make it a short link, and then I want to link to a slide in this presentation. So this would be week, or they all say week 1? No, there they go. Okay, so cool. So we want to jump to week 1, boom, apply. So now I've done one of those. I'm going to copy. Actually, I can just hit Option, hold Option, drag, and drop. Option, drag, and drop. Now that I've done 3, I'm going to take all of them, Option, drag, and drop. Option, drag, and drop. Now, they're all going to go to week 1 as of right now. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to edit them. And I want to change them to the weeks they are attached to. So this will be week 2. So week 2, apply. We're almost done. We're on the last leg. And then I'm going to show you how I would set it up to where people can automatically make a copy. So week 3. Thank y'all for joining me on this journey. And I'm sorry you're looking at the side of my face. I usually put it like in the middle of my screen, but didn't do it. While I'm doing this, did you guys know that I am scheduling a ton of virtual PD for anybody that wants to attend? So essentially what we'll do is I'm going to film 42 sessions anywhere. The minimum is 3 hours. I think the maximum, I've got like a 3-day conference that we're going to do. It's like a digital educator conference. And all of them are going to be available for free at least once. Actually, I think my Google level 1 and Google level 2, I'm not going to do free once. I'm going to just do two different times if you want to join those. But everything is going to play at least once for free, so you can join that. And then I'm going to have it's going to play 2 other times. It's like a premiere, so people can join in live, or I'll do it live 2 or 3 times, depending on, if I film it beforehand or not. But it runs like it's a live video. So you're like having conversations. I'm tossing links in, you're tossing links, ideas. It's just a really cool community feel, and it guarantees that you watch it. Because one of the things your administrator cares about is that you actually sit through the PD. You don't just be like, yeah, I watched that 3-hour video, and you're like cleaning your room. They want to be able to see that you actually participated. So it only runs live. Now, for the free ones, you can go, anybody can do that. You just sign up for the email list. It's tarveracademy.com/PD. tarveracademy.com/PD. But if you want to sign up for the premium one, which gives you access to all 3 air times, so you can attend any of them, sick, which is awesome. And I would like it because then, put some money behind it. So the more money I have, the more resources I can produce. Let's check and make sure these work. So boom, I click it, go to there. It's going to jump to week 5. We did it. Look at this. I'm going to make this 9 weeks. So we know 9 weeks. There we go. But anyways, I'm going to do premium PD as well. So if you want, check out tarveracademy.com/PD. You can sign up to get the free version, or you can click on the link on there and sign up for the premium one. I would not recommend you pay out of your own money. It is a super affordable. As an individual, I think it's like $38 to get access to all. It's probably over 500 hours worth of trainings this summer that you have options for. You shouldn't sit through all of them because they're free. Don't do that. I mean, it's 162 like unique hours, so that's pretty cool. But if you stuck with me for this long in this video, you should come, because that means we got a connection. We bros, we people, okay? We's each other's people. But you can do $38 for an individual, and that gets you access to all of it. Or, which is what I think is the smartest one, you can get your whole building to sign up for it. And then that way, every teacher in your building can attend all those sessions. So that's what I got. Here is where we are. Now, if I wanted to share this to where people could make a copy, I need to go to share. I need to make sure that anyone with the link can view. So I'm going to change it. I don't want just Tarver Academy. I want anyone with the link can view. I'm going to hit done. So anybody can be a viewer. And now I'm going to go up here to the top, and I'm going to go to where it says the word edit. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to write the word copy. Now this link, if I give this link to somebody and they click it, it's going to make a copy for themselves. There we go.
All right. Now we are on the last portion. This is the last section. It's pretty quick. But what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be going through what we just created, and we're going to say, how do we assign that in our classes? What does it look like to take it from creation to where it's completed and then actually implementing it into our classes? So we're going to do that together, and then we're done. Then you get to fill out the evaluation, get your certificate, and check out for the rest of the day. All right, guys, we're almost there. You're almost there. This close. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And I hope that, again, that today added you value and gave you at least some templates and some ideas on how you can expand digital interactive notebooks in your classroom. Let's go.
What we're going to be doing is we're going through a resource I made called the Daily Student Reflection Journal. And I think it can be helpful for your students, not only in, remembering what they learned yesterday, talking about what they want to accomplish today, but also thinking about what they're actually thankful for and building that gratitude daily in your class. I think it can have a huge impact, and a lot of research says it does. So we always trust the research when it seems pretty valid. So here we go. Let's walk through. I'm going to walk you from like getting the resource to uploading into Classroom to any thoughts I have on the process of assigning this. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to tarveracademy.com and you can click on resources. Okay. If you're on the honor roll, which you probably are if you're here, you can go into the membership side and click on it as well. You can watch the walkthrough there. So we're going to scroll down to Daily Student Reflection Journal. It's under Resource or Template. Daily Student Reflection Journal. We're going to click on it, we are going to make a copy. Remember, when you make that copy, I no longer have access to it. So don't be like, hey, Tyler, can you adjust this? I can't. I don't have access. And don't worry about me seeing what you put on there. You can go ahead and delete this entry page. And it's not going to hurt my feelings because I won't see it. I mean, it hurt my feelings a little bit. I can feel it when you do it, but I don't know it for sure. So if you want, that's just some information on that. And then we are going to roll. So here's the thought behind this. You're going to go in. You can delete this front page. Okay. And then once you delete that, you take that out. You can leave it in if you want, just like a welcome to your students, and they can follow me on TikTok or Instagram, whatever. Okay, here's the main thing. You want to go and add your name. So I could say, Mr. Tarver. You could say, 8th grade history. Add that on there. Dates. I set this up originally as in 9-week chunks because I found it that a lot of teachers, because I was doing weekly and I was doing full semester, but a lot of teachers are going to clear out their Google Classroom and start a new one every 9 weeks because that allows the grades to reset. You can adjust it. It's just copy, paste, or delete, and you can adjust it, but I've got it set up originally for 9 weeks. So we could say first 9 weeks. And then a quote. What's a good quote? What is it? Be the change you want to see in the world. You can put whatever quote you like. I like man in the arena. That's my favorite quote. But you guys know I love quotes, bell ringers. Who said this? I don't know. We'll give credit to Teddy. Ben Franklin pretty much said everything, right? This is not correct. Don't at me. I'm sorry. So there you go. This, remember, you don't want to get specific based on student. This is what we're going to create a copy for every student from. So keep in your mindset, this is generic. It's specific enough to be my class, but generic enough to be applied to every student. Okay. Then you go to this one, important links. If you want, you can add like your grade book, put a link to that. Or not grade book, like in Arkansas, they use TAC, eSchool, whatever. You can link to that. You can link to other websites you like. Say you like Crash Course on their YouTube. You can link to Crash Courses. This is just for you to be able to put like links they can refer to. I put this at the front of every single assignment because I feel like it's really good for students to be able to go and have like a hub they can always refer to. All right. This right here is navigation. So as you get going, I don't want them to have to scroll a lot. They can just click on it and it'll jump to whatever week it is they're working on. So it's kind of a navigation bar. Again, you can delete that if you trim it down to like 1 week. That's fine. But here we go, Google Help videos. These are links to tutorials for students. I kind of geared it around. These are the main things that students struggle with. And then we roll into this, okay? Week 1, you can add information there. Remember, you're assigning it for the whole 9 weeks. So if you can plan ahead and see things that they need to do, or you can just type something encouraging in here. Say, looking forward to our first week together. Please don't hesitate to contact me for anything. Okay. And then I'm going to spell hesitate correctly. I'm going to get blasted. You can say whatever you want. Put that in there. It's kind of like your notes page for them whenever they hit it. Remember, you're not going to be able to bulk edit them. I think there's an app I heard about recently I'm going to check out where you can, but I haven't tried it out, so I don't want to vouch for it. Okay, so let's go into what a student is going to do. And if you want to, you could actually start at this part of the video and show this to your students so they can see what's expected of them as they're filling out their daily journal reflection, okay? So here we go. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. This is a day on it. Now, they can pick under date if you want. They can just put Monday. I like them to say Monday, which, let's see, January 4th, okay? There you go. And they can say 2021. We got room? Yeah, we do. Okay, so whatever you want, you choose, tell them, and then they can follow through on that. You're not going to need to fill this out. The students would fill this out, okay? So keep in mind, you would have stopped right here, and then we'll do what we're going to do later, but I'm showing you how to fill this out. And also, if you're a student, I'm showing you how to fill it out correctly. Next thing you do is, how are you feeling today? This circle moves. You click it, drag it, and move it over the emoji of how you feel. Then you want to add 3 things you're thankful for. This is super, super important for you to daily think of what you're thankful for. It changes our mindsets. A lot of people, you've probably met people that have a negative mindset. This is something that allows you to kind of reframe every day and think, you know what, there are things I'm thankful for. You could say, and you want to mix it up every day. You can say like my family, you know, my English grades, you know, whatever it is, you can put that in there and adjust it. Okay. Add 3 things you're thankful for. Next is, what was your favorite thing you learned yesterday? It is very important for us to reflect on what happened yesterday. How many times do we wake up in the morning? We have no idea. I don't even know what I ate for lunch. I don't know who I talked to. I don't even know where I am right now. You want to go in and think about what's something I learned yesterday, and tell the students it's okay to look through your notes. Go back and refresh. It's going to automatically make them look into what they were doing and maybe kickstart that for today. So they would just say, you know, I liked learning about slope. Rate of change is cool. Change, let's say, is fly. You get it? Because it can, okay. All right. Then what do you hope to accomplish today? I'd like to make up missing assignments. Okay. And they fill it out. They don't have to write full paragraph unless you want them to. I think it's better. The short and sweet is really nice. And remember, your teacher is going to have access to this, this right here at any time, even before you turn it in. So if you're on there and you say you need to notify your teacher, what if you're in here and you're like, you know what? I want to tell my teacher about this and make sure it's correct. You can highlight it, right click, and then go to comment. And then if you type the @ symbol, just like how you tag people on Instagram, you can put the @ symbol and then put your teacher's name, Leanne Pinkerton. And then you could say, is this right? And then you can assign it. That way it will email your teacher and you can ask them those questions. So that's a really cool feature that you can do using Google stuff. Okay, so you can add comments. Don't restrict yourself to think that this is a one-dimensional thing that you're working on. I don't know if that's the right term, but there we go. Okay, so I'm going to delete these because if you're a student, you can stop watching now. Teacher, if you're playing this for your students, they can stop watching it. But then I'm going to show the teacher how to go in and actually, I'm just going to hit undo. I'm going to show the teacher how to assign this to everyone. So if you're a teacher, stick with me. We're about to assign it. Take the date out, and then I think we're back to normal. There we go. We can take all this out. Okay, remember, we're keeping that in. We do need to spell hesitate correct. Why does it keep doing that? Okay, now we've got our template. I'm going to call this, and you could label it, you know, let's say 8th grade history, first 9 weeks. Okay, and then I'm going to delete this, just delete this. There we go. All right. Now, what do we do from here? How do we assign it to our students? If you're using something besides another LMS besides Google Classroom, I can't really help you, but if you are using Google Classroom, that's where we are going to go. So we're going to go into Classroom. I've got my History of Magic class. I'm going to go to Class Work. Okay. Then I want to go to Create, and then I'm going to create an assignment. Okay, because they are going to get a grade for this. So this would be first 9 weeks, and this would be our daily journal reflection. And then you want to give clear instructions. Say, you know, every morning, go into the day. Every morning we'll say this. Let's number it. I love numbering things. Every morning. 1, go to your journal. It's attached. Then you say, fill in your thoughts / reflections on the day. Then you say, and then you say, do not turn in yet. 4, after we've finished the first 9 weeks, turn it in. It is for a grade. Okay, now we need to attach that assignment. So we're going to go to Add, and then I'm just going to go to my Google Drive. I love taking this shortcut because Google Drive is going to default to your most recent stuff you've done. So I'm going to click on this. It is the most recent. I'm going to insert it. Now, this part is important, you guys. This is very important. Y'all ready? You don't want all the students to just look at it because then you're like telling them to make their own file and then you can't see it. You want to click this and you want to say make a copy for each student. Click that. Okay. Now, how many points? This should be worth a lot. Let's make it worth 200 points, not 0, 0. 200 points. Due date, we're going to pick the end of the 9 weeks. So let's say 9 weeks ends. When does 9 weeks end? Let's say it ends March 31st. I don't know when it ends. We don't have to put a time. We'll just put that date. And then the topic. This is something you don't want to put it under like a week or a module. Because there's 2 ways that a lot of teachers do their topics. If you don't do topics, you need to do topics. They're super important. They'll do it either by like chapter and module, or they'll do it by like, these are all week 1 things. These are all week 2 things, or even by the day. So time or by like chapters or organization. Either one of those, I recommend this is its own topic. You can title it Bell Ringers. You can title it Daily Reflection. Honestly, I'd probably put it under Bell Ringers if you've already got Bell Ringers, but if not, you can put Daily Reflection Journal. Make it its own topic. That way it's easier for them to find. Okay, and then I can assign it for that class, all students in that class. Boom, I've assigned it. Now, what that does is, remember, it's going to make its own copy for every single student in the class, and you can go in and look at what they're doing at any time throughout the semester. So if you want to check on like week 3 to make sure they're taking it serious, they're actually filling it out, all you'd have to do is you could go to your classes, and then over here in the bottom right, you see that folder? You're just going to click on that folder. And then you're going to find that assignment, and you're going to be able to see every single student's journal and look at it at any time. Let's see, where is it? There's digital notebooks, template. There it is. Journal reflection. It's going to create it. It's already assigned it to all of the students. And I can go in and look at Draco, Harry, or Ron and see how much they've completed at any point throughout the 9 weeks. So those are my thoughts on how to implement this. I hope this helped. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, hit me up. If you're on the honor roll, you can hit me up, and I can go through the mailbag. You've got it on the email, and you can ask that question. Hope y'all be good. Stay sweet. If you want to subscribe, you always can. Holla at your boy, and never stop learning. Peace out.
We did it. We did it. We learned something. Did you learn something today? In the chat, I want you to put the thing that you are taking away from today. Put one thing in the chat right now that you have learned, or that you have realized, or that's reinforced something you think. Put that one, that I like to call this the golden nugget. Put the golden nugget from today in the chat. And that way, if somebody's missed it or they checked in, go ahead and you guys can copy paste what other people put. If there's some advice, you can screenshot it. Get this. I want you to throw in the best thing you learned today. It's like a best of highlight reel for your favorite thing that happened during this training. Toss that in the chat right now so we can share and grow together. Okay, we're about to do the evaluation. Before we do, I want to remind you, if you want access to this entire training at any time throughout the year, not just these live broadcasts, you can join the Tarver Academy Honor Roll. Why'd I do this? Hey guys, Tarver Academy Honor Roll. It's like Netflix for teachers. Netflix for teachers, because you have resources, you have templates, you have PDs, trainings. It's literally like a library of trainings, and then access to ask questions, to request resources that I build and send out to teachers all around the world. So tarveracademy.com/honor roll if you want to join the greatest community on the planet. And I'm not biased at all. All of us, you're on the honor roll. You want to be on the honor roll? Sick. Let's all be on the honor roll. And I'm a dean, so you can be on the dean's list. Hey, that works. Okay. All right. Now it's time for your evaluation. I'd love to get your thoughts on what you thought for this, but also I'm going to send you a certificate saying that you sat through this training. You put in the time. You wanted to learn. You wanted to grow. You wanted to get better. This is going to be a certificate that I'm going to email to you. What I need you to do is I need you to go to the link on the screen, or hover over the QR code with your phone. Get your phone out, hover over it. It's going to ask you a few questions. If you don't get this, it means that you put your email address in wrong. Make sure, please do not rush this. Type your email address in correctly. Please, I'm begging you, because if not, you're going to email me, I never got my certificate. It's because your email address is wrong. Type it in, type in your email address correctly, fill it out, fill out your name, make sure you capitalize, make it look good, because it's going to fill into the certificate from this. So I need you to put this in correctly, please. Okay, go there. We're going to walk you through it. Go into this, click on the link, or you can't click on the link because it's on a video. Type in the link on your computer or type it in on your phone or whatever device you have. Scan the QR code, fill it out. I'm gonna send you a certificate with a timestamp on it saying what time you ended. You have proof from earlier if you sent in to the other link of what time you started. And then you also got your notes and all the stuff you've learned, your screenshots, all of that to show your administrator or whoever, your spouse. You show your friends, show people on the streets, all the learning that you did. You can frame that certificate. I think we're all getting framed. You get a frame? I'm getting framed. I'm gonna put it up on my shelf. I got too much stuff on my shelf already. So look at this, Lonzo Ball rookie card. If you got any, by the way, you got any basketball cards you want to sell? Hit me up. I've been slightly obsessed with basketball cards, and I apologize for bringing it up. Look at this. This is all Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball, I mean, he's the GOAT. Everybody says it. Who's in the chat? Who is your favorite basketball player of all time? I'd love to know. If it's Lonzo Ball, it's quite the coincidence because I had it sitting on my desk. If not, it's probably this guy. Probably this guy right here. See that guy? That's Michael Jordan. No big deal. It's whatever. Don't like to brag about it. I mean, it's not that expensive, that card. But if you got any cards you want to sell, holler at me. I don't know why I said that. I'm just stalling so you guys can fill out your evaluation. All right. Y'all feel good? I'm gonna leave this on the screen for you for a little while in case you had to step out for a second. I'm gonna leave this up. Thank you again so much for your attention and your time and everything that you put into learning and growing with us today. I'm Tyler. This is Tarver Academy. Let's learn to have fun. See you guys later.